All right, guys. Who would have thought? Who would have thought, guys, that we would be banging out another The Right Opinion video in such a short time? When I saw this video in my feed, I was like, oh man, I kind of want to react to this, you know? Dr. Disrespect. The Disappearance of Dr. Disrespect is what it's called. The Twitch's greatest mystery featuring Poutine. But I was like, is it another 4-hour long video? And it's not. It's only an hour and a half. So, I'm interested in watching it. Let's get started.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to The Right Opinion, the home of a twat with too much free time. And many of you are likely well acquainted with my established status as a gamer. In fact, probably one of the best gamers there is
I'm not at all. I didn't even know.
out there. Truth is, I only don't compete in tournaments because I'd really hate to put any of these so-called competitive players out of a job,
True.
especially when I am so
Agreed.
blessed to have alternative sources of entertainment. Yes, my field of interest isn't merely restricted to one meadow. You see, like most people, I love a good mystery, and today we have nothing less than one of the online world's strangest happenings. One that has baffled observers, and even after its resolution, left far more questions than answers. Nonetheless, whereas most of our topics are embroilments on our
I heard it had something to do with his wife or something. I don't really know.
resident platform, we have to turn our attention to our YouTube's contemporaries, and dare I say it, competitors for today's situation. Twitch. Twitch, like YouTube, is a video sharing platform where one can tune in
Bro, Twitch is falling off, bro. It's so crazy. It's so crazy, dude. A lot of people know, obviously. I used to stream on Twitch, and I feel like the platform just kind of isn't worth it anymore, you know? First of all, YouTube is superior just in the sense that, like, it's easier for people to find your content. That's number one, you know what I mean? So if you want to be a streamer, you're going to be better off streaming on YouTube because people will actually see you in the recommended feed. I see random streamers occasionally in my recommended feed based on, like, my YouTube viewership. Like, you know what I mean? Sometimes it's a lot of gaming streamers. This is better for growth. Another thing that's better is realistically ad revenue. After you take the VOD, after you put the VOD or whatever, I mean, the ad revenue is generally just better. I think on Twitch I was making like $100 a month. $100 a month in ad revenue. Right? Isn't that crazy? Now I make a lot more than $100 a month in ad revenue. It's just nuts, and that's just for the VODs on top of the videos that I post too. You know, it's also really annoying when you click on a streamer's video while they're streaming, and you get subjected to like 2 minutes or even maybe it's 30 seconds worth of ads. It's just kind of annoying. It's not that big of a deal when you say 30 seconds, but when you're trying to find a new streamer, you click on someone's stream and it's like, oh, 30-second ad. You're just like, okay, whatever. I don't feel like watching this ad. It's just it's not good for newer streamers or smaller streamers. You can't just check out their stream. They bombard you with advertisements at like such a crazy rate. Like, I don't know why they don't do the 5-second ad thing like YouTube. It would probably cause people to be more like in tune with actually watching ads. There's just so many problems. The only way that Twitch is superior is your ability to download your VOD after the stream ends. Because on YouTube, you have to like use a different website. You have to use like some other thing to download it, only because they don't let you download your own videos in like 1080p, which is really stupid. That's the only thing that's like superior. That's it. And Twitch recently, they made it so you can dual stream on some platforms like TikTok Live. And it's like, that's not really dual streaming. That's childish. So the only real way to grow on Twitch is if you pull from other places like TikTok, honestly. Whereas on YouTube, you might I feel like you're better off. It's much more lucky. Frankly, I think YouTube needs to understand that they're the Nintendo Switch of streaming platforms at this point. They should stop trying to compete because YouTube is going to win versus Twitch. Twitch should just decide to be the Nintendo Switch and just let them dual stream, because then I might be more likely to like make my primary focus Twitch and then make like YouTube my secondary focus if I was able to stream on both at the same time. Because then, you know what I mean? They're already going to lose a lot of big names because they're deciding to change the revenue split for a lot of bigger streamers. So, like, realistically, like Twitch is pretty much fucked unless they get their shit together and understand that they're a secondary platform now. But
into their favorite creators and view various genres of content. However, unlike YouTube, Twitch's format prioritizes live streams, which often provides more direct interaction between a creator, the content, and their audience. It's fair to say that YouTube also offers this feature, and most people have taken advantage of it at some point. However, as YouTube isn't thought to provide the same attention to it that Twitch does, most tend to opt for the latter when it comes to streaming. With that said, Twitch isn't without its issues either, many of which
I just feel like people stay on Twitch because of like that's just what seems to be like, that's what you're supposed to do, you know what I mean? Like, that's just what you kind of do. Like, you stream on Twitch. Twitch is stream. Once people remove that association, you're gonna see a change, especially for non-gamers streaming. For people who are gaming, I could see why you might stick to Twitch, but if you're a non-gamer and you're streaming, you're probably better off on YouTube because, like, you know, not everyone wants to download fucking Twitch to watch you.
On display in the last few years, particularly their policy, which has often led to accusations of hypocrisy and double standards.
Milo!
Hold on a second.
Now, with these large platforms,
what did I say? I got banned tonight on Twitch for wearing undergarments. I was wearing a Chanel tank top, girls body paint on Twitch, and I get banned for that. LMAO. True.
Hypocrisy and double standards.
Milo!
Now, with these large platforms, some sort of double standard is inevitable, particularly given the special treatment that larger creators have been known to afford. With that said, Twitch's attempts to find any consistency have often led to criticisms of the opposite, and their nature to double down hasn't helped that. I'm not going to detail each individual example because we'd be here all year, and that's a bit longer than I want to make my video. But
personally, Twitch should let men twerk because it's not sexy, it's funny. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, dude. You know, like, you won't let me twerk? That's crazy to me. It's fucking crazy.
A lack of transparency on the matter has left some streamers believing they've been indefinitely banned for the most milquetoast of faux pas. And in the live stream business, where there are no editing tools between the video and the viewer, that can be risky business.
True.
On the other hand, though, there are platform darlings who have been welcomed back despite multiple breaches of their supposed all-encompassing creator guidelines.
Yeah, dude. Free Gideon. What the hell's going on here? You know what I'm saying, dude? Free Gideon, bro.
For many, there's unfairness, and then there's Twitch. There are a fair few theories about why Twitch is so wildly inconsistent, but I think the most deeply rooted one is that, simply put, they're a business.
And they don't let you just throw a cat. I mean, you shouldn't do that, but I mean, I don't care that much. I don't know. You know, did she throw it hard, or was she just kind of like, get out of here? And she, you know what I mean? I don't know. I just don't really know.
They need to hold on to the main sources of that business, especially when there are alternative platforms offering the same service. If they went and banned their biggest names, even if it was for good reason, those names may just migrate to a competitor who will tolerate their antics, taking all their audience and income with them. Even if it leads to greater moral inconsistency, their current practice keeps their platform afloat, which is probably their prime concern. However, at the core of this...
Amazon Prime, you can get one free Prime sub a month every, you know what I mean? I can't really do the plug anymore because I don't have Amazon Prime, so it just comes off as weird. But yeah, that is true. I mean, the reality is if you don't treat your bigger content creators as a little more special, then like they could always just like migrate out and you're kind of just shit out of luck at that point, and it kind of fucks you over. Which can be difficult to balance a lot of things. I think it really comes into like the blatantness of it, because some people like blatantly break the rules. Oh, somebody left already. Okay. Crazy. Gotta love it. Some people just blatantly break the rules, and you obviously have to ban them, but sometimes people just make fucking mistakes. It just feels like they go way too far in on mistakes, you know?
Pretty logically sound explanation. There is one rather significant exception to that rule. So I think it's high time to introduce our title character.
Woo!
Fucking out of everything, he had a level 3! Everything! This guy had a level 3! Can't even open a fucking bag! Huh? Doesn't even know how to open a bag! Doesn't know how to loot! Doesn't know how to do nothing! Look at him! Look at him! Look at him! Running down the middle of the goddamn fucking street!
This is Dr. Disrespect. He's a streamer with a pretty significant recurrent following. He's mostly known for playing shooters, although he's not too fussy and will play whatever takes his fancy, really. In a way, he doesn't need to specialize because over the years, his success hasn't necessarily been attributed to his in-game performance. Not that it is lacking. More so, though, his on-screen persona, with a defined brand and attire to match. He's always been a bit of a gamer, though, even claiming to have won blockbuster video game tournaments in '93 and '94.
Well, you know, Blockbuster is no more.
Back in the day.
I'm sitting there at the block.
You want to know why Blockbuster isn't anymore? Just really so you guys know, because Blockbuster, first of all, they could have bought Redbox, which would have been a decent step in the right direction. But you know, which Redbox like helped kill Blockbuster, and then almost immediately Redbox became irrelevant, and then you know Netflix killed it. But then also Redbox is kind of still around. But it's also because a lot of places with technology coming into to play, you need to make your business a destination. You know what I mean? There's little incentive to go somewhere with Amazon out there, and then you know Walmart's kind of sucking up the rest for instant gratification. So you need to make yourself a destination. That's what's lacking in a lot of places. And if they had just made themselves a destination, someplace where it's like cool to go there, people would have been more inclined to stay going. But they didn't do a goddamn thing about it.
Blockbuster World Championships at Marine World in Vallejo, California. 200 tube TVs lined up right on all these tables,
right? Maybe a couple hundred people, maybe just kind of walking around the area, not sure what's going on. But it was probably the first LAN event / tournament in the history of video games. I was there and I won.
However,
Nice.
gaming hasn't been his only interest. In 2005, he graduated Cal Poly with a degree in business and marketing management with a stint in the college basketball team. In the years following, he dabbled in gaming.
Let's be real though. A business degree is like the worst degree in the world. You know what I mean? Like, what are you really gonna get out of a business degree? A freaking business degree, dude. Come on, bro. You might as well go for like a horse petting degree or a gender studies degree. I think it is actually one of like the worst performing degrees.
He began working behind the scenes at video game company Sledgehammer and a live streaming website known as Justin.tv, which had a pretty thriving gaming section at that time. However, in 2000...
Bro! How the fuck did somebody already leave the game? Sorry. It's just 2 games in a row on screen. We're 4 minutes into this fucking game, into this video, and 2 games in a row, some asshole, I think the same fucking asshole, left the game. It wasn't the same guy. Okay, sorry. Continuing.
2011, Justin TV decided to separate this section to a humble spin-off site known as Twitch. And well, the rest was history there. With experience in community management, gaming, and business with some of the most media-relevant companies, the doc decided to chance his arm on the other side of the stage curtains, to pretty resounding results.
So the winner is... Dr. Disrespect.
One thing when I started my channel, I had no idea what I was getting into. It was just having a good time. Let's just do our thing.
Is that a wig? Is he wearing a wig? It's a wig.
But a year and a half later, I realized a lot of things. I realized I've provided an outlet for a lot of people that are dealing with a lot of hardships. And it makes me proud.
In the years coming up to 2020, our trash talking Twitch amassed a multi-million following, won numerous awards, acquired a variety of mainstream sponsorships and endorsements, and instituted himself as a force to be reckoned with. However, he was not entirely unproblematic in his time.
I'm sorry. Oh, it's casual racism, man. Damn. You really cannot go wrong with just being insanely casually racist. It is the go-to, man. It's just humor, you know? I think the biggest reason why people are upset, like when white people do racist stuff, is because you can't really dunk on a white person. What are you going to tell me, that I look like a milk toast? You know what I mean? Like, you got nothing. You know, what can you really say about a white person? You know what I mean? It's crazy. You can make fun of our accents sometimes, especially English people. Disgusting accents. It's fucking crazy.
Dr. Disrespect was known for having a somewhat abrasive and even divisive persona, and in a way that makes sense, it's part of the appeal. However, he did occasionally straggle the line between abrasiveness and offensiveness, his outspoken nature often clashing with those who disagreed with him or held disdain for his comments. In 2019, he was suspended from Twitch for 2 weeks after he filmed inside a public restroom at the annual E3 convention, violating Twitch's own guidelines and California state law. In that case, following the restoration of his channel, some perceived Doc as part of the Twitch cabal that could never face real repercussions for their mishaps. As a creator with millions of followers and a cemented history at the...
Bro, homeboy fucking filmed in a bathroom? Why would you even do that? That's a dumb idea. I need my privacy. I already got enough problems thinking people are looking at my little wiggler. You know what I mean, dude? That makes me self-conscious. Makes me a little bit self-conscious. Might be looking at my pee-pee. I can't handle that kind of attention, dude. You know, you're always imagining it though, you know? What if? You always get curious yourself too. Take a little peek. But you don't do that. You never take a peek. You never take a peek. That's wrong. That's wrong. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Company represented.
But I just want people to understand, like, I'm a grower, not a shower. You know, that's the only biggest problem I have. You know what I mean? Like, we need male body representation. That's better. Okay. And the worst is when you go to the bathroom and they don't have the dividers in between the urinals. I just can't pee at that point. I will literally use the handicap stall over somebody that can't walk over using one of those stalls at that point, because it's just fucking horrible. Okay, my mental health matters more than I have a disability. Like, okay, well, I have disability to not being able to. I have a shy bladder. So that's what I have. So
he was obviously going to possess some power in his channel status. At its heart, it was a synergetic relationship, one that perhaps bent the rules a little, but worked for both of the interested parties. In an esports article, the author Riley commented that as long as he didn't stream from a bathroom again, it was safe to assume that the doc won't be going anywhere in 2020.
that's good.
How wrong they were.
And I'll just say this right now, champs. There's a reason why we're suing the fuck out of them. Okay?
Yes, my friends, today's mystery will investigate the slaying and subsequent aftermath of one of Twitch's most recognizable creators, with discourse surrounding many postulators that have arisen since that time. However, to fully understand many of these discussions, it's important that we first set the scene. So allow me to take you all back to a simpler time. 2020. Yeah, I can't believe it was simpler then either. Don't get too nostalgic as you join me to investigate the disappearance of Dr. Disrespect.
I just disappeared.
You know what won't disappear? Your enjoyment of Raid Shadow Legends.
Oh no, it won't. You're right. It won't disappear because it's never been there in the fucking first place. Raid Shadow Legends. Can somebody make a decent fucking mobile game that I don't want to hate? You know, can somebody make a decent mobile game where like I could just, you know, you'd make it a pay to win, but then also maybe you could just, you know, you could pay a monthly fee to not make it pay to win. You know what I'm saying? Something that's fun, that's not terrible, fucking absolute abysmal garbage dog shit, fucking stupid bullshit. Somebody do that, okay?
Raid Shadow Legends is the best game ever made. With over 600 champions and riveting AAA gameplay, you'll love Raid Shadow Legends. Millions of champion combinations and endless dungeons to run through. You will never need to play another game in your life.
I stopped eating and sleeping. Hey, why bother? I have Raid now.
And if you, somehow, get bored of raiding dungeons, you can beat the shit out of people in the PvP mode and become the Shadow Legend. My favorite.
Yo, listen, not for nothing, but turnstile games are, what's the point anymore? We have so much more technology to make the gameplay so much more riveting. And we're still making fucking turnstile games. I mean, come on, bro. It's just it seems a little wacky cadoodle at this point. You know, do something a little more fucking PvP. Oh, wait for him to go first. Like, why would you want to do that? Why would I want to wait for someone to fucking move first? It just doesn't make sense to me. It feels stupid to me.
Shadow Legends are Hermdig because he is a dwarf and he can nuke everyone. I also like Gorgorab because, I mean, come on, look at him. Gorgrib and Hermdig are also married. Right now, Raid is hosting a spooky Halloween event. They have plenty of in-game and IRL prizes, like a 1,000 Amazon gift card. You could buy Hermdig a gift with that. The event only runs until November the 5th, so be sure to get the game. Go! What are you waiting for? Get it now! If you want to consume the most influential piece of media since Homer's Odyssey, then use this link in the description or the QR code screen to download the game and get a free starter pack worth $30.
Wow.
That's $30 you can spend on it.
That's what we call perceived value. It's not actually worth $30. It just make you think it's worth $30. Why are you shooting at me, bro? I'm your fucking teammate, bro. Doggy, what the hell are you doing?
Hermdig. You can find me raiding Shadow Legends in-game under the name The Left Opinion. And if you love Hermdig enough, you may even be able to join my Hermdig fan club clan. See you there, gamers!
Ad over.
Okay, cool. Wow.
Hey there, just going over the last few drafts, thought I'd put an epilepsy warning here. Certain parts of this header were a bit vibrant, and better to be safe than sorry. So if you do consider yourself susceptible to epileptic fits, then may be wise to just put this one on for the audio until the next part.
Fuck it, YOLO.
Now, I've already outlined the status of Dr. Disrespect at the start of 2020. He was creating content for adoring fans, and everything seemed fairly ordinary on that front. However, there had been some tension stirred between platforms around that time. I've already mentioned YouTube's streaming feature, but I also noted that, as opposed to Twitch, it wasn't their primary selling point. However, around this time, there was another player in the market, which had shook up the industry a little. The name of this player was Mixer. Mixer was a relatively new online service, launched in 2016.
Oh, I was like, is that a streamer that I'm supposed to know of? Like, how behind on the culture am I? It's a mix. Didn't Mixer die? Wait, didn't Mixer die pretty quickly? Didn't they? Wait. Okay. Did they take advantage of their people or something? What had happened to kill Mixer? I'm sure they'll go into it. But wasn't there like a thing where they promised people a bunch of money or something and they could never deliver and it ended up just killing the streaming service? But it was doing decently. They just kind of fucked up. Because that's obviously stupid. Probably out of greed. It takes years for like businesses to be profitable. And I wonder if they just got fucking greedy.
The name Beam. Not too long after, it was brought by Microsoft and rebranded for the global stage. Microsoft harbored great ambitions with this platform, gradually expanding the range of available services, streaming included. Arguably, though, the most significant development was in 2019, where renowned streamer Ninja, or Tyler Blevins, announced he would be leaving Twitch to join Mixer on an exclusive deal.
I know this may come as a shock to many of you, but as of today, I will be streaming exclusively on Mixer.
This caused quite the commotion at the time, with many pointing the finger at a variety of sources, including Twitch themselves for supposedly harboring a toxic environment that Blevins no longer wished to tolerate. Ninja was not the only streamer to leave Twitch the market competitor though. Among others, FPS streamers Shroud, Ewok, and King Athalion also migrated platforms on an exclusive deal, and in this time Mixer reported a notable increase in hours of content streamed on their platform, appearing to win over new and aspiring creators from their rival streaming service. This would have inevitably put a squeeze on the bigwigs over at Twitch. Without a platform to poach their creators, they would need to approach each controversy with a heightened sensitivity to the consequences of their decisions. This would obviously not be a popular decision with some, but with one of the tech behemoths breathing down their throat, it seemed like the only viable option. In the meantime, there were questions surrounding who the next big name would be, perhaps XQC, Pokimane, or maybe Dr. Disrespect.
Whoa.
Let's say a move for the doc to Mixer. Let's just like theoretically say, right? The number would have to be crazy. Like, I'm talking. Like I don't know what Ninja got, but it's got to be at Ninja's level or higher.
Damn.
I mean, it's just a bigger, stronger brand, right?
Is that true? I don't even know if it's true at the time. Who knows? But we're really just getting pushed back every 2 seconds, huh?
It would have to be.
In August, streaming appeared to have little regard for what platform he streamed on, stating that his patronage would go to the highest bidder. Though a few months later, after the news that more streamers had left Twitch, he was confronted by audience members once more, wondering if he would be part of the large exodus to the up-and-coming platform. However, he appears to shoot these rumors down fairly swiftly, using his business acumen to point out the problems with the service in reference.
Easy button, move to Mixer. I would never move to Mixer, trust me. It's stupid. Right now, they
Why are we
probably
not on the point?
maybe
We have 20 seconds left. All these people are so fucking
viewers
dumb.
across the entire platform. Right now, currently on Twitch. Right now, currently across the entire platform, concurrent 1.5 million concurrent viewers. Right. So you tell me, you step into my face and say, "Yeah, they're making big moves." No, they're not. Right? Like, I have double the amount of viewers that Ninja has right now, and I'm still in my intro, right? Reality check. Those moves, they're not doing anything for the platform. You can't pay for a community. You can't buy viewership. It's right here. The Twitch community is built on video games. It's built on communities.
Damn, he's sucking off Twitch pretty hard here. What the fuck?
You know what? The doc's reservations were slowly being proven correct.
I'm not even being like negative about that. Like he was really running fucking so hard defense for Twitch. Because realistically, that's just his audience. It's not, I mean, people like Twitch, but like, what does Twitch itself really do for its audience? Maybe at the time they were doing a lot for their audience, and there was a reason to be prideful of working there, or, you know, working for them in some capacity. But those are like his audience members, and that's the whole point of pulling them over to Mixer. But he's really sucking off Twitch there, which I'm not saying, again, it's not even like a bad thing. I mean, why the fuck did they ban this guy then?
Because not all was completely steady on the Mixer ship, and although more content than ever was being streamed on the site, the actual viewership numbers were waning, and the co-founders, James Boehm and Matt Salsamendi, left in very quick succession. Although both their posts appeared to express optimism for the future of Mixer, attributing their departure to a mere change in personal priorities, it's hard to ignore the interrelation between the—
Well, once that happens, there's no reason to support Mixer anymore. The fact that they even left is like embarrassing for them and pathetic. You know, you're gonna have your ups and downs in general, but like once the bosses, the leaders of a project go away, a lot of times, I mean, it depends. It's very new, but like if it wasn't, if the leaders of a non-established brand decide to disappear, there's no real reason to support the brand anymore because they don't believe in their product enough to like stick through some of the hard times. So it's kind of crazy. I don't know.
The exit of these figureheads. As viewer traffic is arguably the most integral element to a website in that domain, the information regarding their numbers was not a good sign. As a matter of fact, by the end of 2019, their market share still only equaled Facebook gaming. And at that point, I'm pretty sure most people on Facebook don't even know how to use that. However, though they weren't experiencing great success in that moment, their presence and their ostensible ambition was enough of a threat to provoke action from other players in the market. This threat wasn't just limited to Mixer or YouTube either though. Although I joke about it, Facebook Gaming did poach a couple streamers for their site. Another more controversial fringe site called DLive did sign a brief deal with PewDiePie in 2019. And though that was due to expire pretty soon, it could have definitely ruffled some feathers. In response to these hawkish business techniques, both Twitch and YouTube sought to cement their status with a variety of commercial deals. In Twitch's case, this included lucrative contracts with the creators themselves, such as Pokimane, Dr. Lupo, and of course, Dr. Disrespect, who in spite of pledging loyalty to the platform the year before, clearly brought an enable presence to the network. On March the 12th of 2020, Dr. Disrespect tweeted out a video from his account promoting the stream platform once more and emphasizing the exclusivity of his presence, only on Twitch.
You know the biggest difference between me and you, boy? Is that I can fly to outer space.
Whoa!
The contract was for 2 years, and although no specific figures were disclosed, it was definitely no Mickey Mouse Monopoly money to say the least.
So I wasn't like super like into like online Twitch stuff and everything at this point, but Dr. Disrespect seems like a lot bigger than I even ever thought of. That's fucking nuts. Good for him. Why the fuck, dude? What the fuck? Then they got rid of this guy? Yeah, get him, turret. You do all the work for me, so I don't have to do any damage. Accuracy, who needs that?
An interview, the doc himself described it as life-changing, and it made perfect sense. It was true, he was one of their most successful streamers, but he was more than that in a way.
I mean, it's just a bigger, stronger brand, right?
A lot of the most viewed streamers are defined
True.
by their in-game skill, or just on the basis of the content they engage with.
Like
Especially
me,
those
I mean, I'm probably the best player in Bronze 4 right now for DPS, so that's probably why people are watching me right now.
in the more reaction-oriented genre. The problem is that when your success is based on the relevance of the game or videos that fuel your content, you're often placing an expiry date when those games or those videos fall out of favor with the greater audience. Dr. Disrespect was more than that. He was a character. A divisive one for sure, but you don't garner prestige a lot of the time without making a few enemies. And sometimes it's better as a creator to evoke a strong reaction, positive or negative, because it's what will keep some people coming back. Sure, when he dropped a hot take or dissed another streamer, it would typically end up in an article, even drawing some negative press towards him. But he was always described as the Twitch streamer. And if any coverage was good coverage, then he was the prime example of that. I think Twitch identified the longevity and
For a toxic gamer, I'm surprised he doesn't have more like edginess allegations against him, at least from what we've seen in this video. I would have expected to see a lot more of that. So, holy fuck, these guys are like so much health. It's crazy. You fucking die already, bitch?
Dr. Disrespect's appeal and sought to secure it on their platform. With the competition gearing up for the new year, it made perfect sense that they retained one of their most identifiable creators. What could ever change that? Well, I don't know. Okay, that is the part over, and if you chose to listen to audio for that part, you may now resume watching, hopefully.
What? What the hell was that? That's confusing. That's what it was. My ult was kind of bad, huh?
June 2020 was a chaotic month to say the least, for everyone who could possibly be involved in this serpentine story. Despite their strong corporate foundations, Mixer was faltering in view.
This is unfair, because look at this guy's name here. You see this guy's name on the board down there? The Junkrat on the other team? All Asian characters. How the fuck can I keep up with somebody who's Asian, dude? You can't beat Asian people at fucking video games. How are they even in this elo, bro? Like, this is fucking crazy, dude. This is nuts. Like, fucking Grandmaster in like fucking America is like fucking silver in Korea. I don't understand. This is unfair. This is racist. Where's my fucking... This is racist. This is crazy.
A March report showed that although livestream viewership had doubled over the year before, Mixer's growth tallied at 0.2%, which with their exorbitant financial deals considered, was nothing less than astounding. Astoundingly bad. When June came around, they appeared to be coming to terms with the fact that their platform was not sustainable with its expenditure, and on the 22nd of June, Mixer announced they were shutting down. This should have been great news for Twitch, who could recapture some of their creators who had previously exited the platform. However, this positive news was also being overshadowed by a series of criticism directed at Twitch and prominent gaming figures from female streamers who believe that Twitch's current system enabled misogyny and harassment on the platform, with many...
Well, maybe part of that is because there's so many titty streamers on there, so unfortunately... I don't know. I wonder if that's part of it.
Female streamers sharing their stories of unsavory experiences with those in the industry, with the CEO pledging to listen and cooperate in every way possible.
I thought they meant with like fan interaction, but that's not that great. Obviously not good at all.
It was a pretty challenging time for the platform and the online community as a whole, but all seemed committed to seeing it through, with new policy designed to take permanent action against those who had committed these misdeeds in reference. Earlier in the month, Twitch had also been under pressure following a series of DMCA takedowns issued against a variety of channels relating to copyrighted music being used in streams, and their potential legal liability, with their company Twitter account posting a statement expressing respect for these laws.
Ooh, nice.
Dr. Disrespect was not someone whose name had been included amongst any of these discussions, and overall there was no controversy surrounding him at this time. In months before, he had been involved in a few incidents, most notably regarding content he'd shared during the start of COVID that many felt was inaccurate. Needless to say, though, he's not a medical doctor.
What did he say? He promoted some misinformation? Hey, listen, not for nothing, but during COVID, I mean, I even got a strike for that on YouTube. Listen, dude, COVID is a very real thing. I always thought it was, but it was just like, I was scared of the fucking vaccine, dude, because it came out, it was so quick, you know what I mean? I can see why people would be skeptical. Oh, damn, that was nasty. I'm gonna play the game. So, well, no, I'm not. I'm gonna die to this Junkrat while I try to emote.
So most of the time, what he said didn't seem to have any staying power outside of your response articles and tweets. Dr. Disrespect was arguably the last person to have any eyes cast on him at this time. He wasn't a part of any known narratives. He had distanced himself from Mixer and other competitors, all while maintaining a steady schedule and viewership on the website that adoringly hosted him. Yet, on the 26th of June, 2020, all of that seemed to turn on its head.
Down below as well, that being the possibility of Dr. Disrespect out of nowhere being banned today in what could be a...
Jake Lucky? I know that guy. Where's his hair? Kind of looks better with the hat, but that's just me.
Permanent Twitch ban.
Yes, without even the slightest of warnings, announcements, or messages, Dr. Disrespect's Twitch page went dark, and for the first day left people scrambling for an explanation on what exactly happened. Twitch would not comment, and someone questioned whether he'd even been banned because of the lack of commentary around it. The day after, video games journalist Rod
I fucked that up so bad, dude. I needed to hold that fucking, like, that flank point, and I didn't.
Sasha Breslau claimed that he had been informed as to why the doc had his platform withdrawn, but considered the reasons too legally sensitive to disclose at this point. He was one of the first to break the news of Dr. Disrespect's permanent ban, and his background in journalism seemed to give him some authority on the matter. However, he was not the only person to claim to be in the know, though nobody who did seemed interested in sharing this knowledge, making this whole premise somewhat dubious. On the same day, Twitch released a statement to CNN's Shannon Lau, stating that they took appropriate action in response to a violation of their community guidelines.
What was the violation?
Not the most believable given their track record, but maybe they had a good reason. However, the day after, the doc himself tweeted that he had been given no reason from Twitch as to why he had been banned, and if Dr. Disrespect wasn't going to find out, then there was no chance that any of the wider audiences were going to find out anytime soon either. On the same day, Disrespect's final minutes from his last stream on Twitch were uploaded to YouTube, prompting many viewers to comb through to try and find any indication or foreshadowing of the trouble that followed.
With that said, I have yet to see someone that's on my fucking level, baby.
Many viewers seem to note that Doc's demeanor visibly altered after the 2-minute mark, where he appears to check his phone following what was a presumed notification.
Dude, fuck. No. This is the end of the game, bro. I'm almost as sad as Dr. Disrespect is right now, dude, because we definitely would have won this if I held that fucking choke, or, you know, we did any more damage, but whatever. Fuck. Did I get played again?
So I should just put it on just chatting. I mean, like, I kind of wanted to get off, but now I don't want to get off.
He goes on a brief inspirational spiel about his fan base and how they gotta stay resolute, before going off on a tangent about David Icke, a former footballer and commentator turned conspiracy theorist, who advocates for the idea that the world has been taken over by reptilian elite who are veering the world towards a global fascism.
True. That is true. That part is true.
Bent on eliminating all human freedoms.
David Icke. Yes. Alex. Yes. I like him.
Oh, shit.
All it allows you to do is just sort of like, you know, allows you to step outside of the box just a little bit.
Okay.
Icke had recently been censored on a variety of online platforms in response to his claims. However,
is that part of it? Because David Icke? I don't even know about this guy.
The doc vocalizes.
Looks more like David Icke to me, but...
This is admiration of Icke's outside-of-the-box thinking. A strange turn of discourse, but not completely unfeasible. Though...
Whether some of the stuff is not true or not, whatever. I think the whole goal, though, is... to wake up!
The fuck?
Yeah. Anyhow, someone recommends...
What the fuck? I mean, I'm not really surprised that, like, an FPS gamer is a little bit of a conspiracy nut, to be honest with you. But, what the fuck?
He played Roblox hide and seek next stream in his chat. The doc seems to pull it up, engage with some YouTube content on it, and maintain a rather stoic expression, only breaking the silence to once more promote David Icke. He then appears to break character to talk directly to his fans, with more motivational language and acknowledgement of some sort of unspecified challenge in his life.
Okay, who's
I appreciate everyone watching today.
in the backyard? Who's going to be looking?
We'll get.
Really, like I said, we don't really know some of the.
Yeah,
We'll get
I
through
don't
this
know
Champions
the
Club.
map
I know it's a tough.
Because I don't know this one well.
Life's weird right now.
Who knows what he's exactly referring to, but before we know it, he appears to be interrupted, drops a cheeky expletive, and cuts the credits in.
Dun dun dun! You better not taunt me. How dare you?
Fuck.
You get to try out.
Unsurprisingly, with a fair bit out of the ordinary going on here, many people began to speculate. Some more reasonable, some a little more far-fetched. But it represented the uncertainty in the doc's world.
I never heard of the whole conspiracy narrative thing. That could have been the potential reason why this guy got banned. I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. I don't know anything about David Icke or whatever, but...
At this moment, he said he didn't know the reason for the ban, but there seems to be some recognition of an obstacle that appears to be troubling him during the stream, and the rather chaotic ending left many wondering if he'd been arrested or an even worse fate had befallen him, with Twitch being able to react accordingly with whichever authorities requested them to. However, in the days following, no reports were released that corroborated this theory, and Dr. Disrespect seemed to be at least alive. However, this didn't provide clarity for those seeking it, and if anyone was expecting a further explanation anytime soon, they were not going to receive it. The permanence of this ban was seemingly confirmed when Twitch refunded viewer subscription to the doc's channel and eliminated his emotes.
Wow, they refunded the sub? What a shame. You guys should have just given people a voucher for a free sub for somebody else. Smart business practice.
In the space of a few days, the seas of chaos and controversy seemed to part for this one man, and his unrevealed breach of Twitch's conditions. So much was changing around the dock in that moment that it was hard to assign a causality to anything clear. And although some had some pretty solid theories, there was a lack of confirmation that planted the seed of uncertainty. Would the silence ever be broken? Well, let's find out. Over the following weeks, there was silence from the parties involved. Some articles were published and some hypotheses shared on the doc's fate. Yet most of this was hearsay, and with nobody willing to speak on the matter, very little progress was made. How this changed around mid-July, when our friendly PC physician decided to publish a somewhat foreboding trailer onto his Twitter.
Some interesting production quality for these trailers. This is fucking crazy. This looks like cyberpunk.
There's not really too much to read into
Imagine doing like a pitch for this. Damn.
here, but I think everyone figured that the doc had unfinished business. On the same day, he granted interviews to both PC Gamer and the Washington Post relating to the state of affairs that concerned his removal and the aftermath, including possible courses of action. In these interviews, Disrespect continues to emphasize that he is still none the wiser as to why Twitch terminated his contract. However, he seems reluctant to entertain any theories or provide any further details on his perspective.
I wonder if he absolutely does know, and there's some kind of a non-disclosure agreement as to why. I guess maybe that's why he's just not being like forthcoming about it.
At one point in the PC Gamer interview, he begins responding to a question about the stream comments that touched on COVID misinformation. However, before he can elaborate on what he thinks, he's interrupted by his publicist who believes they're entering risky territory, and the question is shut down. One of the most significant details revealed in these interviews was that the doc was seeking counsel for possible legal action, part of the reason why he is not particularly forthcoming with many details relating to his ban as of then. One thing he does want to distance himself from is the behavior in his final stream, affirming that the two incidents are unrelated, and that he was just feeling the pressure from the world around him at that moment. He acknowledges it was a curious coincidence, but assures interviewers that he was genuinely ignorant to what was about to transpire, and that he still is. It's hard to fully take his word at face value, but there isn't really much else to take at this point, so this is the best that most could settle for. There was another lull in developments with the occasional...
Wait, is he trying to say that like when he ended the stream abruptly that it had nothing to do with the ban? Dude, this whole thing is a conspiracy. What the fuck?
To post here and there.
What
On
the
July
hell?
22nd, a few days after the interviews, one of Dr.
I just don't
Disrespect's
believe
top
that.
Discord mods shared an old message which seemed to imply that something was in the works, though no further specifics were provided. Lo and behold, though, barely a fortnight later, the prophecies were fulfilled, with a Twitter post from the doc himself announcing his return. Tomorrow we arrive, with a link to a video uploaded to YouTube.
Pogger. What the fuck is this?
Now, with his previous video also being uploaded onto YouTube, some had already thought this would be the platform of choice, but this seemed to confirm it even if it wasn't outwardly stated. The second was a music video accompanying a song by J+1, a regular collaborator with the doc, in which he seems to provide the vocals here. The lyrics include the line, "I don't even know why I try anymore," repeated multiple times, and "you can't replace me," remarks that seem applicable to Twitch's recent measures taken against him.
That is sad, and I can understand his frustration with getting fired, but I have very little sympathy for millionaires, you know what I mean? It's just hard to... you know what I mean? It's like hard to be like, wow, that's so sad.
In this video, he's seen in a dark room, looking over an inclement skyline while serenading the bright lights, reaching out but never quite reaching them.
Wow.
Okay, I'll try not to get too artsy here, but there seems to be a lot of subliminal
Beautiful.
messages on show, but the most important one was the tweet itself, referring to tomorrow. This was the date set for his grand return, with many
Very
anticipating
beautiful.
what he might finally reveal now he has a platform once more, albeit a new one. What would he say?
We have no idea. And I'm going to tell you this right now. As far as I'm concerned, we didn't do anything to warrant a ban, let alone how they went about banning us.
As far as he's concerned. The only reason I'm going to be like hyper like speculative, obviously, like you know, nitpicky. But as far as he's concerned, I wonder if that means he kind of knows why. But there's a non-disclosure agreement that was signed, and he just doesn't feel it warranted a ban. Maybe it was something that was a little bit silly to even get him banned. I just, you know, I mean, it's hard not to speculate with everything going on here. You know what I mean? It's hard not to speculate. Die, bitch.
No communication before, no reaching out, nothing. Boom, done.
Well, nothing particularly new in its core message. That boils down to the fact that he still doesn't know what he has done wrong, and that it had not been communicated to him. But it's certainly a lot more convincing when delivered with the trademark bravado that people had come to know the doc for. He also once more criticizes those who have jumped to conclusions on the nature of his ban, expressing understanding that although people may be looking for an answer, sometimes one doesn't come too easily, and that it'd be best left with the professionals for now.
The problem is, too, there's people in the community that are anxious for an answer. And so what that does, it creates a level of urgency and speculation.
Okay, it's true.
And I think it's just a fucking cockroach approach. There's big money involved. So let the legal professionals do what they need to do. That's it.
It almost sounds like he's talking to himself here. Like he really just wants to try to, you know, I don't know. Okay, interesting. Gotcha.
Now, this is a fair way to close discussion on the matter for the moment. He is a streamer with his own persona to maintain. He can't let this drama be the defining aspect of his long and illustrious career. However, his response is also revealing in the fact that it shows he's still exploring legal options and clearly believes he may have a strong case to make for himself. Provided what he said in that moment is the case, then of course he would. However, I wouldn't be giving the stream its due credit if I focused on a rather derisory portion of it. Let me make this clear. This video is more than that. It's a stone cold statement. You all better pay some fucking attention.
Does he have a sex tape? No. See, you guys are doing what he's saying. Not to do. We need to group up. We're gonna get picked off because we keep like walking in 1v1. But there's no way. Is it a sex tape? That's weird. No, it's not speculating.
Because Dr. Disrespect was back, and this time he was intent on not going anywhere.
I'm gonna stay here and just watch him on the screen the whole time. I'm gonna wait right here underneath the fucking staircase, and I'm gonna wait, and I'm gonna screen watch, I'm gonna stare at him, and I'm gonna...
With its duration exceeding an entire day and the view count surpassing 7 million, the doc buckled down to some classic gamer antics, providing the fans more of what they knew him for, and the abundance of video games, banter, and one-liners to boot. Unfortunately, due to its protracted length, the video is no longer available to watch in its entirety, though the doc did upload a little highlight reel for all those who missed the first stage of his new journey. You can also find parts of the stream on other channels that caught it, so you can enjoy the moment one more time.
No, I ain't coming. I ain't coming back.
Damn.
This felt good in many ways for his audience. This was his homecoming. Sure, it was a new home, but it was the same furniture. It was a new chapter, yet the same book. Over the year, he grew his viewer base on YouTube, continuing his collaboration with other creators and studios, even appearing to plan his own entry into the video games market. Everything was progressing fairly smoothly, and the instant that the doc described as a speed bump seemed to be firmly in the rearview mirror. And yet, in spite of this, he couldn't help glancing back.
Yeah, we're getting fucking rolled. We can't catch a fucking break, and I feel like I'm not getting a heal. I don't know, dude. I'm getting fucking irritated is what's happening right now. I'm about to fucking shit in my pants is what's gonna happen.
Don't be mistaken, there was a lot to celebrate for members of the Champions Club. However, this was also still deeply bittersweet. Although he had found a new platform, the legacy of the past controversy still cast a long and dark shadow. I know nobody's probably going to shed a tear over the state of his finances. The dude probably does alright for himself. But proportionally speaking, he lost a lot. And a channel. It still holds a lot of emotional value that he clearly felt attached to.
There's no streaming community
What's
on
happening?
YouTube, okay? I'll be straight up, like, streaming on YouTube, it's terrible.
Really?
There's no community. If I play Apex, Jesus Christ.
Damn.
I mean, I'm going to have to, like, market my stream in newspaper ads or something in order for someone to come across it. That's why I don't play Apex.
This was something unprecedented for him, let alone everyone else. And he wanted closure. How was he going to do that? Well,
whether it's obvious or not, the blacklisting, the shadow banning, it's happening, and it's as well as you think we're doing, and I think we're doing well enough. I'll tell you, man. It's been extremely disheartening. It's been a roller coaster of emotion, and it's absolutely fucking sucks.
Over a year past since any progress on legal proceedings had been announced, and for some, the case had probably gone cold. However, in August of 2021, while responding to a question in a fairly casual stream, the doc had some news to impart for his eager viewers. After talking about how his Twitch ban had impacted him and his business, he revealed some new information regarding his ban.
But a lot of people ask me, do you know the reason? Yeah, I do know the reason why now. I've known for months now the reason why. And I'll just say this right now, champs. There's a reason why we're suing the fuck out of them. Okay?
Oh, shit.
I don't know how else to put it. The amount of damages and you just don't...
Yo, dude, heal me. Heal me.
No.
Dude, heal me. I'm right behind you. Heal me.
Gotta... Second, Anyways.
This was the first time that Dr. Disrespect publicly stated he knew why he had been banned, alongside the fact that he was taking legal action. It was only a single sentence.
I'm about to take legal action, too. I'm standing behind a fucking healer, and he just doesn't fucking heal me, dude. I'm getting irritated with this goddamn fucking game. What do I need to play? Do I need to play a fucking brick wall in order to get a fucking heal? Jesus Christ. Stop trying to get fucking headshots and fucking turn around, you fucking pig. Jesus Christ.
But news outlets rushed to cover it with a plethora of postulations about the rationale behind his decision. However, if he initiated a lawsuit, one thing was true. He believed he had a case. What did that case constitute?
I got a fucking
well, my friends, I think
heal
it's
me,
high time
heal
we
me,
bring in
heal
our
me,
resident
heal
Twitch
me,
expert
heal me,
into this
heal me,
discussion as
heal
well.
me, heal
I
me,
know what
heal
you're
me.
thinking. You have a resident Twitch expert? How come we've never met him? Well, he's a hardworking
Heal
guy,
me.
and he's also allowed only 1 hour sunlight a week. So if he exceeds that in this video, we'll be having words. Ladies, gentlemen, and all far and wide, allow me to introduce you to my good friend Poutine, who'll be looking into Twitch's legal liabilities and the prospective case our streamer friend possessed. Take it away, my man.
I mean, let's be real. I'm probably also garbage at this game, but fuck. I'm getting fucking tilted. I'm getting fucking irritated, dude.
When I first learned about Dr. Disrespect's ban, like many others, I was baffled. How could Twitch ban one of their biggest creators and not even tell them why? After a couple years of streaming on Twitch, that answer has become a lot more clear. One thing you need to understand about Twitch is they care a lot about maintaining a professional public image. The last thing Twitch wants is to be seen caught up in some petty drama regarding somebody's ban. As a result, they've created PR and support teams that rival YouTube.
Heal me. Turn around and heal me.
And robotic they can be. Their policy when banning streamers, regardless
of size or
context, is not to make comments of any kind, public or private. This includes giving streamers themselves specific reasons for their ban. For example, Twitch used to send out templates that looked like this whenever somebody got banned. If you were lucky, a vague reason would be given with
I mean, they really should... Bro, what's shooting me? They really should be very explicit about why you get banned. I mean, it's one of the most frustrating things in the entire fucking world is not getting a reason why you're getting banned, you know? It's just so irritating. I mean, I had the same problem on TikTok. They won't give you, like, an explicit... Dude, get out of here! We're not friends! Sorry. I mean, it's just really fucking annoying. You know, because then how do you change the behavior if you don't know the fucking behavior that you're exhibiting? You know what I mean? You know what I mean, bitch? All right, I gotta play the video.
A simple link to their community guidelines to, quote, learn more. If you weren't so lucky, sometimes you wouldn't be given a reason at all. The fate of any wrongdoers on the platform is decided by a very small, completely anonymous moderation team, and they have notoriously tight lips. Doc not being given a reason for his ban wasn't an exception. It was the rule. It feels like every month there's a new streamer getting banned without a clear reason, and beyond making a few tweets, most take this sort of treatment sitting down. But not the Doc. He had something so strong it was worth suing a multi-billion-dollar company. What was it? I've spent the past week reading California's state law. That is to say, it's not been a very fun week, and I think I've narrowed it down. Before we understand Dr. Disrespect's lawsuit, we first need to understand how Twitch's contracts work. On YouTube, there's one partner program for everybody on the platform. Twitch on
$3.61. Would you be interested in reacting to June the King's second video on low-tier gods someday?
Maybe.
It's about LTG stalking behavior.
Maybe.
Love the content, BTW.
Thank you. I don't know, maybe. Low Tier Guy was very upset when he saw that I reacted to videos about him the other day when I talked to him, so I don't know. He was very upset, dude.
On the other hand, has a multi-tiered system. On the lowest levels are affiliates, above them are partners, and above them is a more secretive tier of top creators who have personalized contracts with Twitch. In order to get one of these more exclusive contracts, streamers often negotiate directly with Twitch for things like higher revenues.
And those are going away, by the way. Those are going away. Fuck you, bitch. Those are going away, dude. It seems like they're not doing any they're not choosing favorites anymore. Fuck you, bitch. I'll just punch you to death. I can't aim, I'll just punch you in the face.
Splits and a flat payout for streaming a certain number of hours every month. Dr. Disrespect no doubt had one of these contracts. With that in mind, the first conclusion many people came to regarding the lawsuit was a breach of that contract. Perhaps Twitch had in some way violated the terms of their own contract. Now I'm going to level with you. Knowing the specifics of Doc's contract is virtually impossible. Twitch keeps all of their agreements under NDA. But that doesn't mean we have nothing to go off of. Going into 2016, James Varga, better known as Phantom Lord, was on the top of his career. You might not know his name today, but he was once the most followed streamer on Twitch. He would routinely stream himself.
I knew we'd win this one. I knew we would win this one, dude. I knew we would fucking do it. The rage inside my body caused us to get an epic victory royale. So, there you go.
Gambling CSGO skins on several different sites and winning big. Unfortunately for him, it came out that one of these sites was not only rigged in his favor, but it was created by him.
Yeah. I remember that vaguely. Shit's fucked up, dude. Promoting gambling to people and then like making it so that it seems like the odds are greater than they actually are.
Twitch, this was the last straw, as he had already violated their terms of service in the past, and I'm guessing the whole running...
I got carried, dude. I fucking tied top DPS. Shut up. Get out of here. I'm gonna ban you from the stream.
An illegal gambling operation thing, probably didn't really help his case. Phantom Lord was banned in July of that year, and 2 years later, in early 2018, Phantom Lord filed a lawsuit against Twitch. He was suing them for violating California's unfair competition laws, breach of contract, and intentional and negligent misrepresentation. Alike Dr. Disrespect, Phantom Lord claimed he was entitled to millions.
My case is looking towards 35 million plus.
Wow.
In damages, and that's like minimum.
We can break down his claims into one of two categories. Twitch violated specific terms of their contract, and Twitch mishandled the ban, causing damages to Phantom Lord. For the first category, the court sided with Phantom Lord. Within his contract was a provision that guaranteed him 30 days notice if Twitch were to ban him. Twitch failed to do this and was ordered to pay just over $20,000 as a result. The second category, however, was a different story altogether. While it was
I mean, he very clearly did something that warranted him not existing on the website anymore. So
obvious to many in the public why Phantom Lord had been banned, Twitch hadn't explicitly given him a reason until 5 months afterward. Sound familiar? When he finally got through to a Twitch representative, he was told the ban was the result of fraudulent payments being made to his channel, an allegation that many in the media were already acutely aware of. The reason for his ban was later seemingly changed to reflect the gambling site scam he ran, among other guideline violations. He argues that Twitch misrepresented their terms of service to him, and that
it'll be easier to read this if you guys would update you from Windows 94. I mean, come on.
By banning him in the manner they did, Twitch's business practices are unfair. The courts agreed with some aspects of his claims, but ultimately sided with Twitch, and Phantom Lord was never unbanned. On paper, Phantom Lord came out on top, $20,000 richer, but it's important to point out that this lawsuit lasted for over 3 years.
Well, not at all. He does not come out on top. Twitch comes out way on top, because that's if all they had to do is pay $20,000 to get somebody off the platform that was like promoting gambling in a toxic way that could destroy their platform, they came out on top overall. That's why they did it. They probably knew that they would lose some of this shit, but they had to fight as much as they possibly could.
And it didn't get anywhere near the millions of dollars he claimed he was owed. Given that this case was the closest legal battle to what Dr. Disrespect was about to go through, and Twitch had no doubt changed their contract since, the odds of winning anything substantial must have seemed slim at best. But Doc still had one more ace up his sleeve. You see, when Twitch terminated their contract with Doc, he lost a lot more than just what that contract entailed. Third-party sponsors and events immediately backed out of any deals with him, seemingly out of a fear of association, despite not even knowing why he was banned in the first place.
The Twitch ban is really how it's really affected us, not just from a financial standpoint, but from a networking standpoint, from all the relationships we built over the past 5 years in terms of Activision and EA. I mean, everyone, all the big sponsors, all the big partnerships, they have to question, why did you get banned? Right. Whether it's obvious or not, the blacklisting, the shadow banning, it's happening.
Speculation ran wild, and the safest thing for
I mean, that makes perfect sense. Yeah, I thought he meant the shadow banning in like a different way, like viewership-wise, but no, that makes perfect sense.
To do was to distance themselves. From the outside looking in, there was a degree of weight to Doc's ban. It seemed so serious that nobody felt comfortable even discussing it. I mean, maybe the reason for the ban was trivial, but none of these brands wanted to stick around and find out. Doc losing these deals and partnerships that were made independently of Twitch as a result of how Twitch handled things seems a bit unfair. But it's more than just unfair. It's illegal.
Sides super chatted $4.99. Here's $5. Now show me your feet. JK, unless.
I think I'll
love you, Papa.
I think I'll keep those muted for now. Thank you so much, though.
Tort is a category of civil law.
Oh, I'm playing Tort. I'm playing Tort Bjorn. Torb Bjorn. But in this ridiculous fucking Norwegian language, a B is probably a T anyway, so.
That focuses on emotional, physical, or economic damages caused. Within this category is something called negligent interference with prospective economic relations. This complete jumble of words was his golden ticket. While simple contract violations got Phantom Lord $20,000, this could get Doc a whole lot more. In order to win the lawsuit in California, where Twitch is based, Doc would have to prove 8 points. First, that there was a relationship between him and his sponsor, with the possibility of future income, that Twitch knew about this relationship, that Twitch knew Doc's relationship would be damaged if they failed to act with reasonable care, that Twitch did not act with reasonable care, that Twitch engaged in wrongful conduct. This one is a bit of a mystery, but it could be a number of things, from breach of contract to slander or misrepresentation, or any other wrongful act that Twitch might have done towards Doc relating to his ban. That Doc's relationship with his sponsor was actually damaged, and that Doc was economically harmed as a result. It would be easy to argue that Twitch knew about his sponsorships, and knew banning Doc in such a secretive manner would harm those sponsorships. Instead of clarifying the reason for the ban, Twitch allowed theories to run wild. I don't know about you, but to me, this doesn't seem like reasonable care to somebody who was one of their biggest creators. And if the courts agreed, millions of dollars in damages were on the table. In Phantom Lord's case, his lawyers did mention that Twitch caused him serious monetary and reputational damage. But interestingly, they didn't seem to pursue those claims further, possibly because they knew his reputation and job opportunities were already damaged before the ban by countless articles and videos documenting his actions. I'm sure he burned those bridges just fine without any help from Twitch. The same can't be said for Dr. Disrespect, however. In his case, the ban blindsided both his partners and the public alike. Look, I'll be the first to admit there's no shortage of reasons to sue somebody in the US. And to be honest with you, Doc could be suing Twitch for pretty much anything. But if Doc had any real chance of getting the millions of dollars he claimed Twitch took from him, it was in this convoluted and wordy section of California law. The road ahead did not look easy for Doc. He was going up against one of the biggest companies in the world with one of the most well-funded legal teams. Despite this, he was confident, though it remained to be seen if this confidence was misplaced.
Wow, what an eloquently spoken chap. Only a true genius would have the artistic inspiration to feature them in a video of theirs.
True.
Anyhow, I shan't stand on ceremony any further. Regardless of the specifics, Dr. Disrespect believed he had a case. And with the details behind this exclusive contract, it's understandable why he held that belief. But belief is only half the battle. Those looking at his case would need to share his perspective, and when dealing with these online situations, there's often an element of unpredictability. Nevertheless, going into the new year, his resolutions were a bit more ambitious. At the start of this saga, he expressed no intent on returning to Twitch following his ban. However, entering 2022, this had changed, with a large payout and a grand return part of his yearly aims. He clearly had an expectation that this lawsuit would yield a favorable result for him. And given the far-reaching impact that his rejection had onto his finances, if the grounds for his removal were found to be unfounded, then surely he would be entitled to serious compensation.
And we've gotten to such a good point, ladies and gentlemen, Champions Club.
Personally, I think I'm entitled to compensation because look at the fucking healing. Our healer's healing is just immaculately fucking bad. Holy fuck, dude. I mean, what is this? What fucking game am I playing? Overwatch, of course.
We got to such a good point. I mean, I'm talking all cylinders firing. Conscious just feels extremely just
nasty,
incredible.
Nasty.
And then to have that taken away from you and to not know why and to not know anything about it, not to be told nothing. Boom, taken, grabbed. Everything we built, all the eggs in one bucket. Boom, taken away. The fact that I am here live on YouTube, it's been a fantastic return. I'm telling you, it is. But my anxiety levels are it's something that comes in these huge waves, and I'm having a hard time dealing with it. I'll be honest.
I feel you, brother.
However, did Twitch have a case to make as well? Dr. Disrespect always pushed the boundaries of what was acceptable on the platform, and even if it wasn't their honest reason for banning him, could they refer to these instances as factors for nullifying a contract and find loopholes with such a known provocateur?
Yeah, I mean, I wonder how much of their reason is going to be bullshit now that they've fired him. I really wonder what the reason was. Truly.
The fact that Twitch weren't just taking it lying down seemed to imply that they also believed they had a case too.
No, of course not. They just have the legal means, and they know that they have to like run PR. You don't have to have a case to win on the court, you know what I mean? It's the unfortunate reality of the world.
But what was the reality? Well, after a couple months of further litigation, an announcement was made on behalf of both Dr. Disrespect and Twitch. These statements were nearly identical, both conveying that the parties had come to a settlement, although neither of them admit any fault for their parts. In a way, this result is not surprising. Lawsuits can be lengthy and arduous, incurring great costs for all. And if conditions that each person involved is satisfied with can be agreed upon, then that is nearly always more preferable than rolling the dice in court. However, in a follow-up comment to his initial statement, the doc clarifies he will not be returning to Twitch, seemingly contradicting his post a couple months prior. Had anything changed in that time? Or was his case not quite as strong as he believed it to be? Well, it's hard to read too much into it. On the surface, some might assume Dr. Disrespect.
I mean, part of it could be that it was just such an expensive and long lawsuit that they might have just been better off settling even if it wasn't the desired outcome. You know, again, one of the issues with the legal system isn't always getting treated fairly. Bro, don't even fuck with me, bro. Get out of here. You fucking punk-ass bitch, white boy. Fuck out of here, motherfucker. Fucking bitch. Now heal me, you fucking slut. My fucking healing slut. Fuck this shit. Okay, sorry guys. I'm just we're just in on it. We're just in on it, dude. We're just in on it. We're just in on it. Okay.
Case wasn't compelling enough for him to follow through on. We know he perceives Twitch as the superior platform for streaming, and as a long-term result, his return to the platform may have been financially preferable given his impressive viewership. As Putin noted, another lawsuit that had resulted in a plaintiff victory yielded an amount that probably didn't go particularly far. And although Twitch probably did breach aspects of their contract, this complaint probably wouldn't yield the payout that the doc was hoping for, even if proven. The money was in the implication of Twitch's actions, which is what the doc seemed focused on.
Since the purple snake scummy ban.
The fucking purple snake. Holy shit. That's just funny.
We've taken a hit on so many different things behind the scenes, champs.
Damn.
We've taken a hit on so many things, not just the contract, the original contract.
However, proving that would have been a greater challenge.
Oh, I thought I muted it on accident. I mean, hey, I'm not getting carried. Stop telling me that. I have the top fucking damage, dude. I have the top eliminations. I'm the only reason we're winning, dude. This is the only DPS character I'm good at, and it's because half the damage comes from a fucking turret that automatically aims, okay? But I don't care, okay? It's not about playing to be good. It's about playing to win. Fuck you, dude. Let's continue.
As noted, some critics may have viewed the settlement as a reflection of weakness in Dr. Disrespect, or his case. After all, he was not prepared to follow through with it, and actually acquire the desired result. However, this didn't necessarily reflect a weak case. It really depends on the details of the settlement, details that we will probably never know. If the payout offered to him was large enough, he might have just taken that deal and gone his own way. I don't think the doc had a weak case in regards to how Twitch handled their severance of him. They clearly dealt with it poorly, but that wasn't where the money was. The following part is mostly theory, but I think it's worth exploring a little, and it is based on the assumption that what the doc was banned for wasn't quite as shocking as certain figures had suggested it was. I think the greatest financial damage in the doc's mind came in the aftermath, and its persisting presence on his ability to attend events and garner sponsorships. Anybody who's banned from Twitch is also restricted from attending events for which Twitch may be affiliated with, and appearing on any other creator's Twitch streams.
That's crazy.
We don't know exactly on what grounds Dr. Disrespect sued, but we can estimate that was probably in the domain that tort allows. Although there are a few routes he could have taken, he wasted a decent amount of time to file the lawsuit, despite exploring it from pretty much the onset of his banishment, which would imply that they wanted to let the dust settle and the upshot to show itself with clarity. At the start, some had considered the additional publicity that he received as actually a positive result, given that many people sympathized with his situation. However, over time, that sympathy faded and the financial ramifications became clear because of how dominant Twitch truly are on the market.
I mean, there's a reason why Activision doesn't do a Call of Duty partner code, or we don't work directly with Call of Duty, or haven't been. There's so much defamation relating to the ban that we've had to deal with.
That's crazy.
It's insane.
These were strong words, but they were ones that emphasized the damage that Twitch had caused to Dr. Disrespect. He needed to drive this home to people, and he was smart about it in many ways. Part of me thinks that Twitch were hoping that the Doctor, following his ban, would have angrily taken to stream and revealed details that would have been detrimental in his court case. But he didn't.
Oh, I thought he was dead.
He focused on the damage, but not the details. He spoke about the mental anguish, and although I have no doubt he experienced that, his focus on that was important to drive home the point that Twitch's actions caused visible harm.
Well, it's fucked up that like Twitch is so ingrained in like everything. That's fucking nuts. I mean, it makes sense because they're a video game streaming platform, but it's just crazy. Well, look at it. We're gonna look at the play of the game, baby. From Papa Gut. Let's give him a GG since I got to play the game. Look at this. Oh, look at the skill. Look at the skill, dude. Look at the skill. Look at the skill. Look at the skill. Incredible.
To me, there was little question that Dr. Disrespect had proven that Twitch's actions had tangible negative consequences on his mobility in the industry and his own mental state in dealing with the evolving circumstances. Twitch played an undeniable role in this. Sure, they didn't want to show their hand too soon in case people quickly countered them and undermined their reasoning for the doc's ban. However, in this case, as Poutine noted, beyond their direct involvement with many other companies, their ambiguity prompted uncertainty within brands who would typically partner with our streamer friend in question. When you're a large company, the last thing you want is someone who is an unknown quantity. And for a while, Dr. Disrespect was just that. Even brands he shared well-established relationships with distanced themselves. And although some returned in
Dr. Disrespect says Twitch ban hurt chances to work with brands like Disney. Was there ever a time that he would ever have worked with Disney? I just call a little bit of cap on Disney specifically. I feel like that one is a little I'm just saying, dude. Turret carry, bro, until they show the damage of the turret versus my own damage, you'll never know.
In time, it was demonstrative of how ignorance could be weaponized as much as any form of knowledge. But surely that would depend on whether Dr. Disrespect's removal from the platform was justified.
Twitch's statement on Dr. Disrespect's ban, as in our process, we take appropriate action when we have evidence that a streamer has acted in violation of our community guidelines or terms of service. These apply to all streamers, regardless of status or prominence in the community.
Yeah, but we don't know what the terms of service violation is, you know what I mean?
I suppose. I mean, of course, if that statement was found to lack sufficient merit, then they could have been in hot water. However, I'm sure Twitch had considered that and probably assembled a reason that they could defend themselves with, in the scenario that the doc
maybe Doc twerked or something, you know?
took them to court.
Because that would be it. That would be a bannable offense. You know what I mean? Like, what is the fucking offense?
Nonetheless, even if they did find a few breaches of contract or guidelines to use against our disrespectful friend, would they be completely in the clear? Well, you're entering...
You know, here's the thing I don't know if people are really thinking about. Because the cause of the ban would obviously could definitely be an issue and just like devastate the working with the brands. Depending on, I think we're all thinking about it as in terms of severity, but I wonder how much brands are, like different other companies and brands are thinking of it in terms of workability. Like, you might have some really stupid rules at your job, but if they're explicit and you still don't follow them, that makes it that you can't be a team player, and they're going to be like, we don't want to work with you. And so some brands might be on that too. Like maybe Dr. Disrespect did something so small and stupid, but it was such like a clear violation, and then the other brands were like, yeah, it's not really worth the risk to work with somebody who can't follow a basic rule. I'm not saying that is the case. I just wonder how much of it could be that.
Tricky territory, because if he was banned for a justified reason, then Twitch's statement on the matter wouldn't necessarily be false. It also depends on their actual reasoning behind the ban. We're going to explore theories very soon.
Oh, he refused to put pronouns in the bio. That's a bannable offense.
Variety of violations that the doc could have been banned from Twitch for, yet probably wouldn't have been
Let's see. Yeah, it's weird, especially since he has like all the Asian stuff and the bathroom stuff, you know what I mean? But
affected by in other parts of the community.
Doctor apologizes for his comments on mobile gamers on YouTube. That's funny. Fuck mobile gamers, dude. You're a loser. I'm just kidding. Mobile games can be fun. Too bad there aren't a whole lot that are actually fun.
If they had been revealed, even if they were
Guess
still
what we're
fair
playing,
reasons
guys.
for Twitch's perspective, he likely would have experienced less impact to his business. In this case, you could feasibly prove that Twitch's failure to disclose any reason had a worse impact than actually disclosing a reason, which included lesser breaches.
That's fair.
This is what this is all about. This is the reason Joshua Holcomb was pulled over. New Mexico Statute 66-3-846, driving with an obstructed window. This morning, I did an informal survey of the courthouse parking lot, and by my count, over a third of the vehicles had something similar hanging from their rearview mirrors. So, unless you and 47 of our colleagues have outstanding tickets, I'd argue that this statute is not regularly enforced.
I know this isn't the most academic reference, but there's a brief scene in the new season of Better Call Saul where lawyer Kim Wexler illustrates how attentive law had been selectively applied against one of her clients in a discriminatory fashion.
Your Honor, this was a perfectly reasonable, routine stop for cause. This was not routine. Officer Connell knew my client. In fact, he arrested him 5 years ago. And Officer Connell's record shows that this is only the third citation he's written for this statute in almost 20 years. So either this is an incredible coincidence, or Officer Connell recognized my client and used the dangler as a pretext to violate his Fourth Amendment rights.
So that even if it was technically correct, its poor enforcement had indulged a culture that normalized that behavior. I think within reason, you could easily make the same argument against Twitch.
You know, I used to have little tchotchkes. Yo, get the fuck out of here, dude. Don't shoot my turret. I had some little tchotchkes hanging down from my my thing. I took them down though, not for safety, but because I tried to stream in the car while I was driving. And I didn't want the to be in the way. Nobody's ever pulled me over for that though. It's interesting.
In this case, Dr. Disrespect may have felt he had pretty strong grounds to file a lawsuit, and even if Twitch were happy with their reasoning behind the ban, they may have also been very hesitant to roll the dice in court this time round, because although in previous cases they had probably given viewers enough to go off when working out reasons for a ban, even if not overtly stated, here it was all rather up in the air, particularly given their inconsistent record on actually disciplining other creators, who similarly pushed the envelope. Make no mistake, Dr. Disrespect is not your ideal Twitch creator. He's not entirely unproblematic. It wouldn't be particularly difficult to compile a file of all the numerous times he pushed the stick a little too far for some people's liking. Yet, Twitch's continuous and even renewed consent for his presence on the platform set a standard in his mind that he thought was acceptable. The moments where he was arguably at his most audacious was in many people's minds the moments where he was most in character. The possibility is that Twitch's failure to distinguish that and impose standards consistently could have undermined the solidity of their own guidelines. But why would they do that in the first place? The greatest question that has pervaded this case is why? Why was Dr. Disrespect banned? I think we're at a point where we may have to accept that we will never know for certain, and that is the case for a lot of situations. If you're not there, it's hard to exactly know what happened. Nonetheless, it's one of those instances where there isn't really even a vague consensus of what exactly inspired Twitch to take action. Theories wildly range from the most severe transgressions to minor and petty motivations that would surprise everyone. Why can't we think of a proper reason and agree on it? Well, I think there are a few factors at play that we can pin down. The first is, and this one's quite obvious, consistency. Twitch's failure to enforce rules consistently didn't just affect creators, but affected an audience understanding of the Twitch rules as well. Unless you're very accustomed with the platform, I'm sure that many people here wouldn't know if some of Dr. Disrespect's more irreverent behavior was even in breach of the rules. And even if we could probably also think of times where people weren't punished for the exact same transgression. If a large majority of creators wouldn't be punished for it, why would a creator as universal as Dr. Disrespect be?
True.
Other than explain that the doc was banned for a contravention of the guidelines, the Twitch statement also subtly implies that said guidelines are consistent. Whether this was an attempt to try and set the standard that their rules have been applied fairly to try and cover for the fact that they were acutely aware that they weren't is not really for me to say, but it's a curious detail that I think is worth observing. We know that Twitch is not the most consistent, but something must have changed in the months running up to the doc's ban that ultimately led to his removal from the platform. Well, as mentioned earlier on in the video, there were some changing circumstances that could have altered Twitch's stance on their creators. Twitch couldn't attribute the changing environment alone to their decision in taking the time off the platform. However, deep down, given everything going on, it felt like it must have played a role. The ongoing discussion surrounding the industry's problem with the treatment of women had led some to draw a connection between the two. But I think the even more significant development was the retreat of Mixer and their aggressive tactics. Now, Mixer was never the greatest threat to the market, but the way they went about their business certainly was, and the nature to poach large creators, if anything, disrupted the ecosystem in an unfavorable way. I also think the presence of aggressive competition made Dr. Disrespect one of Twitch's most valuable creators, because he commanded a loyal audience and a unique appeal that would probably follow him to another platform.
True. You know, in all honesty, I really wonder what he did, because I feel like if Dr. Disrespect was still on YouTube, he's still on Twitch, that might have been like a pretty big argument towards like community. Because, I feel like Twitch is, like, I never considered community to be a fucking reason to stay on Twitch. And again, I make a different type of content. I don't, like, do, I don't do fucking video game shit, really. I play video games, but I'm very clearly fucking terrible at them. But I wonder how much of that would have changed, you know? I wonder if I can get this guy a headshot. I can't.
many of whom subsequently did. Now, ultimately, with what we know, he couldn't have been absolutely indispensable, and some may point out the fact that when he left, he actually went to a more competitive platform than Mixer, and I'd say that's a fair point. However, his departure at a sensitive time definitely could have swung momentum in a way that other creators failed to do so. A narrative had formed that maybe this was the end of Twitch's market domination, and someone like the Doc going to another platform could have easily fueled that. In hindsight, even if Mixer's statistics show they never really posed that much of a menace, their demise allowed Twitch to retain that symbolic stranglehold on the market, allowing them to act with more confidence and ruthlessness. It seems that regardless of the actual reason behind Dr. Disrespect's ban, it was more a result of the evolving circumstances around Twitch, who either felt compelled to do something in that specific moment or felt like they finally had the freedom to.
There is a ton of speculation out there, and that's all it is right now. It's complete and utter speculation. You know, it is the elephant in the room. We have to put it out there, and we also have to say, we just don't know.
This meant that when reviewing the case, people didn't really have much of a pattern to work with. They didn't have an established rulebook for Twitch, and they struggled to decipher what about the Doc's behavior was exceptional in the run-up to his ban.
Like, we're not doing great with the way that we're trying to approach this. Okay, what a weird fucking
Yeah, sure, his final stream was weird. His behavior erratic and narratives rather curious, but it's hard to really read too much into it. The most you could say is that it seems like he found out something and obviously didn't take it well. Whether that information was merely part of the Twitch situation, he wasn't prepared to talk about it, and in this instance, we can't really do much about it, particularly given that it didn't really lead to much directly. He wasn't arrested, he wasn't sued, he was just banned from Twitch, and we still don't know for sure if the two are related or if the guy was just acting up a bit. There's a further factor to consider when trying to deconstruct audience bemusement, and that being journalism and coverage surrounding the matter. Not too long after his ban, certain seemingly credible sources in the industry stated that they'd been informed as to why the Doc had been banned, with many stating that the reason was really bad. However, if the reason was as serious as they framed it, why would it be left in the dark to the point where he is still essentially operating the way he previously did? Although these people seemed believable in their intent, it was hard to buy it without any accompaniment.
And even if they thought it was really bad, like, who's the fuck is to say, like, oh, it was really bad because a random person, like, because this person thought so? Like, people think a lot of stuff is really bad. Like, that isn't, like, fucking bad. That's just, like, dumb pedantic shit. I don't know why I'm using the word pedantic so much. But you know what I'm saying. Some people, like, you know how people will say, like, everything's fucking grooming nowadays? Oh, my God. Oh, my God, that 19 and 17-year-old. Oh, my God. It's so bad, right? So, like, that's... Just because somebody asserts it might be bad doesn't mean that they know dick about shit about what the fuck they're talking about, so...
And I'm not saying that I think these people were lying when they said they'd been informed of the supposed reason. I think it's very feasible they were told something, but nobody had the confidence in the reason they'd been told to actually say it. Slash himself said...
And then also, if they did hear something, it's always through, like, the grapevine, or probably would have been through it. You know what I mean? Like, I learned stuff through my job that I wasn't supposed to know, but sometimes you get it through, like, they would go through telephone tag, and all of a sudden you don't get an accurate depiction of what actually is fucking going on.
He was afraid of a defamation lawsuit, and when it's not your information, I can understand that. Nevertheless, defamation is only valid when the claim is false, and therefore it seems that many were aware that there could be an error within this reason, or a lack of supporting evidence to back up these claims if given proper scrutiny.
Without the appropriate amount of
you have attacked me
without the appropriate amount of evidence.
I mean, like, to go to your point, I don't want to put it personally on Twitter, and I do need a publication to back me, but this requires indemnity that I want, and that has been rather difficult to acquire, and that means that I get legal protection from the outlet that I publish for from whatever would happen afterwards. So yes, a defamation suit.
Eventually, many media sources seem to retreat, saying, well, we're just as confused as you are, and the lead went cold. The focus on something more serious, particularly given the environmental circumstances at the time, served to add to the broad church of theories regarding Dr. Disrespect. The final factor, of course, is the fact that neither Twitch nor Dr. Disrespect ever even alluded to the reason. The closest we reached was the Doc downplaying any in-stream behavior and being interrupted by his publicist, but that was supposedly before he was aware of the reason himself. The fact that nobody said a thing implied to viewers that there had to be a benefit to not discussing it. And sure, the legal explanation is pretty comprehensive, and it's possible that part of their out-of-court settlement was an agreement to not disclose this information. But there's that lingering sense.
Of course it's going to be part of the settlement. This is not disclosed, but it's not going to be a Dr. Disrespect side. If he feels like he can sue over this, I guarantee you he doesn't actually think he would wish that he could tell everybody. But very clearly there's some kind of like NDA agreement that he has that's preventing him from being able to say anything. And that it was probably part of the thing. It's like, hey, don't tell anybody, because it would be bad PR for me not getting healed. It'd be bad PR for Twitch. Bro, come on. Yeah, that just doesn't make any sense. Do people actually speculate that, or are they just asserting that?
Surely someone would say something if it was clear-cut one way or the other. If it was so serious that the Doc had to go, or if it was so serious the Doc had to sue. People have this insatiable desire to find out why, even when the answer isn't in front of us. Yet with all the factors considered, so many theories ran amok, and clouded any attempt to really analyze each explanation on the basis of its merits. So why don't we do that now? There are a lot of theories, and obviously we can't cover every individual defining detail that makes each hypothesis unique. However, most of these speculations do share features, and we're focusing on the overarching narratives behind them, the arguments in favor and against their likelihood. As with other parts, this is obviously not a definitive statement, and what actually happened may be completely different to anything we discuss here today. So with that in mind, let's start with the most unexceptional theories. That being Dr. Disrespect committed a simple breach of the rules, and Twitch decided to ban him on that basis.
Maybe, but what I want to know is why this Cassidy is so obsessed with me that he'll fucking single ult me, dude. God damn it, bro.
How boring. But is it really that improbable?
I mean, I don't know the entire everything that was surrounding the culture of Twitch at the time. But the only reason that they would fire him for something so small or trivial is if they were having such a huge issue with big streamers causing small problems that were seen as like a double standard type thing, that they felt the need to do something like that. I don't think it was, I don't know if, see, to me, what I think is I don't think it's anything huge. I think it's something that's relatively small that Twitch felt like it could blow up. So with that one guy with the whole conspiracy theory thing, to me, that's possibly one of the reasons why it had happened. That makes sense that Twitch would be very apprehensive about like allowing like a lot of potential misinformation or conspiracy theorist shit, especially in 2020 with the government questioning Facebook about like the pushing of particular information on social media and stuff. And then I could see why Dr. Disrespect would be like, this isn't that big of a deal. Why are you fucking me inside of my asshole? That makes the most sense to me. I feel like it has something to do with that. Something that I wouldn't think that he's a horrible person for whatsoever. But like Twitch would be like, we have to get ahead of this, especially with government crackdowns. It's most likely that's the only thing that makes sense to me. I'm actually gonna pee really quick. You know, not everybody can drink milk, and my understanding is that most of the world is lactose intolerant, and then I think white people have the lowest case of being lactose intolerant. So if you really think about it, this is very racist from Dr. Disrespect. This is very racist for him to be drinking milk on stream. Milk. It's milk. Okay, milk.
I mean, Dr. Disrespect had certainly received a bit of blowback for his statements surrounding COVID, and had certainly indulged some interesting antics, including claiming he had purchased shungite to combat the alleged radiation from 5G, as advocated by some conspiracy theorists.
Listen, not for nothing. Listen. There are some conspiracies. I don't know what the fuck's what's going on with 5G. You know what I'm saying, dude? I would be a little apprehensive about 5G too. If he says that gets rid of some of the 5G radio waves, what's the harm in getting that potentially? You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's such a bad thing. I don't know if it's true, but I mean, you got fucking radio waves. They're just always there. If I download a fucking app on my phone, or if I take an old school radio out right now and put it down right now and turn it on, it's playing music, right? It's playing music or the radio. That's everywhere. It's always here. It doesn't make sense. There's always 106.1 BLI. Is everywhere, always. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, is that healthy? Those radio waves in my fucking brain? Is that one time I was thinking of a song, I turned the radio on, the song was playing. I was like, did I pick up the radio waves, dude? You know what I'm saying? Like, what if I have braces? You get what I mean? So, like, I could see why you'd want to get a cube or something that would potentially prevent radio waves. So, just saying.
There's a bigger agenda happening. There's bigger agenda going on, man.
It's
I'm with Elon. Like, I'll just say it. I'm with Elon Musk.
Got a heel, bro.
Look at the data. Just look at it, man. And we are prolonging something. I gotta stop.
Now, this can all be interpreted in good humor, but in a time where conspiracy theories were receiving a lot of harsh criticism, particularly given the pandemic, it's completely plausible that some at the top may have been rubbed the wrong way. Hell, in his final stream, he promotes David Icke, whose mention certainly would have turned a few heads on its own. Twitch had received a bit of flack from media sources for their inaction on conspiracy theories, with Kotaku mentioning the dot by name. It was clear there was a frustration in his behavior, even if it was part of the character. Maybe Twitch decided that they had to take action.
Yeah, no, this makes the most sense to me. Because it's like, to me, it's something that's kind of benign. I think to most people it's a little silly and benign. But it's like one of those things where, again, like things were really charged up at that point. Things were really charged up, and the government, the federal government, was not healing me, even though I'm fucking popping off. The federal government decided that they weren't going to heal, even though I'm popping off right now. They weren't going to just turn around and fucking heal me, bro. Anyway. There was a lot of pressures from the federal government, to the point where, like, Facebook was in and out of court constantly about their handling of, like, holy fucking balls. Sorry.
To send a message to other creators. However, was this even against the community guidelines? Well, nowadays it would be. However, back in 2020, the community guidelines only covered this on very vague terms, highlighting misinformation as a breach of the guidelines. However, not really saying too much about what that misinformation included. In fact, the examples they provide point towards misinformation in a different sense, more relating to how you present your channel on the platform, though it does list feigning distress as an example. Something that the doc may have been accused of in his final stream. At the same time, how would you prove something like that is feigned beyond a reasonable doubt? Without a confession, there's really no way you could. Would this have been enough to peg the doc? It's possible, but far from definitive.
I'll peg the doc. You know, it is an interesting point to bring up, though, about pegging, right? Because pegging is effectively... Pegging is gay, but it's gayer than gay sex. And I'm going to explain to you as I get my ass pegged. Think about it. If you're getting fucked by, when you get pegged, it's for your pleasure exclusively. Right? At least when you're getting, I guess it's equally as gay, because you're also pleasuring another man. I didn't think this one out very well, guys. We're going to move on.
He was far from the only person discussing these theories, and surely if Twitch had merely spoken to him and communicated that they weren't happy with some of his behavior, he would have changed it accordingly. Many would argue that he committed worse transgressions on the platform and received lesser punishment. And if they were looking to make an example of him, surely they would have emphasized the reason why he was banned. The owners of Twitch, Amazon, have a very sympathetic film on David Icke available on their website. It would seem a little hypocritical to say the least. So although possible, this alone probably would have put them in a bit of a tight spot, and they perceivably didn't have too much to gain from it, especially as the spotlight wasn't on the doc at the time. Lest we were reminded that despite reaching a settlement that Dr. Disrespect found satisfactory, it still didn't entail him returning to the platform like he aimed. They did not want him back. Surely a basic breach of the rules was not enough of a motivation on its own. Twitch needed to be looking out for themselves when they took this action, and this is where other theories can be introduced.
Easy button, move to Mixer. I would never move to Mixer, trust me.
As noted, the banning of Dr. Disrespect followed shortly after the collapse of competing streaming platform Mixer. Many have attributed Mixer's demise as a factor in the expulsion of the doc. But what if it wasn't just a factor, but the motive?
I'm tired of already seeing the comments, ladies and gentlemen. Who's next, Doctor? I was the first one there in Washington before this guy.
Bro, I'd be doing so much better if I could actually hear my game, you know? I didn't hear Ash go, Bob! And then shoot me in the fucking face.
Before Shroud.
That's okay.
They wanted the #1.
A variety of theories have been expounded on this one. The simpler one suggests that Dr. Disrespect had been expected to transfer to Mixer after a deal had been made behind closed doors, and the discontinuation of Mixer had caused this information to be leaked to the Twitch executives, who saw this deal as a breach of the contract signed by the doc. A more elaborate theory states that upon hearing about the dire straits faced by the Microsoft-owned platform, the prudent-minded businessman approached other large streamers on the website, including Ninja, with
the only thing that would potentially give this validity, and this, I just don't even think that this is true, would be the potential of, like, he was jerking off Twitch so much because he thought they found out that he was going to betray them, and so he was, like, overcorrecting. And I don't know if I believe that that's true. It's possible, but I just don't think that that's true. That seems like a bizarre stretch, you know what I mean? We're really, like, inside the spawn right now. Wow, incredible.
The mind to start a new Spotify backstream platform by the name of Brine, which suspiciously resembles Prime. Somehow this made it back to Twitch, and once again they took action against our streamer friend. Another one, advocated by some from the community, suggests that the doc allegedly lied about offers from Mixer to receive more money from Twitch during contract negotiations. And once more, when Mixer shut down, Twitch found out and took action.
Switch, actually.
Are there any merits to these sorts of theories? Well, it will certainly give Twitch a stronger motive to ban Dr. Disrespect. After all, his presence on the platform could have been used as leverage to encourage other creators and viewers to leave Twitch. Although it's questionable whether this behavior would have constituted a breach of the rules, or even an exclusivity contract, they may have felt it more economically viable to ban him as they saw his presence as a liability. Dr. Disrespect's ban reduces his mobility in the community at least, and may make it harder for him to set up any sort of competing service, or go anywhere else. There's a long-term financial motive here. But is there anything else? Or is it just people trying to find a reason when there isn't one? First of all, the Brine theory didn't really seem to take off, mainly because Spotify themselves never seemed interested in launching that sort of service, and its source wasn't particularly strong. Brine as a streaming website did seem to have some credibility. They do have some social pages, but it never really went anywhere, and it's hard to see why the doc would be related to that, especially as they kept uploading promotional material after he had allegedly moved to YouTube. Dr. Disrespect going to Mixer at the end of its lifespan also seems pretty unlikely. The doc had already explained the problems with that sort of platform, and even if they had approached him when facing its own closure, which seems unlikely in itself, surely there was no way that the doc would have been able to ignore the signs that this was a company struggling, regardless of how much money they offered him. Probably the most plausible theories out of these is the one where he doesn't actually go anywhere, and he just utilized other supposed offers to haggle a good financial rate. But once again, is that something the doc would do? It's very hard to say. He was probably being offered a monumental amount of money anyway. Was it his time to get greedy? And would...
I mean, that would be that would be stupid as fuck. If that is true, and I don't know. So, okay, if the claim that... So listen, first of all, I don't like the framing of, oh, he was using... He could have been potentially using an offer from another company as a bargaining tactic. That implies that that's a bad thing to do when it's absolutely not. If you walk into your job and go, listen, this other place offered to hire me and they are going to pay me $5 more an hour, and I need the money. Can you match that offer, or can you sweeten the deal? And they say no. They say like, well, we want to keep you so we can do that. That's reasonable. That's fair. That's just knowing your worth. So if he got like a legitimate offer from someone else and he's like, listen, I'm getting offers from these people. I do want to stick around. Can you sweeten the deal? The way that you phrase it when you're like, oh, using other offers as it comes off negative when that's like a positive thing to do. That's not a bad thing to do. You know, you shouldn't fake stuff like that. But if you actually get another offer, like why not flex it a little bit? Why not be like, why not know your worth a little bit? So I don't really like that framing. And if Twitch did decide that like they were going to match it just for a little while later to like ban him as in some kind of way because of that, that would be definitely grounds for a lawsuit, because then they're just trying to like hurt his character. That's fucked up. Oh, I guess like killing people. What's the hell fuck's happening right now? Oh, I'm killing sentry turrets. Oh.
Twitch had really been gullible enough to believe a struggling company was offering big bucks. But alright, maybe we don't know the platform he was considering, but maybe he was just considering a move of sorts that annoyed Twitch. Well, I suppose, but the dude seemed genuinely happy at the platform and didn't seem like he wanted to upset that. I know you gotta put on a persona, but even if this explanation gave Twitch a motive, it didn't really give Dr. Disrespect one. Why would he go to any other platform unless he was forced?
I'm gonna outsnipe the sniper. Outsnipe the sniper. Outsnipe the sniper. Bye, bitch.
We've spoken a lot about the reasons that Twitch may have to ban Dr. Disrespect, and many of them have and will harp on some sort of social motive, some sort of misconduct that causes them to take action. However, what if the motive was purely financial? Is it possible? Well, as we know, Mixer just shut down, and the doc had been given a very sizable offer to stay on the platform a few months prior. However, with Mixer's closure, the newfound availability of other large creators, and the decreased competitiveness of the market, could Twitch release a few bags by cutting ties with one of their most expensive investments, claiming it breached terms and conditions, and nullifying a pricey contract? Some have suggested that Twitch couldn't afford creators like Shroud or Ninja if they had retained the services of Dr. Disrespect. However, I don't think it would be the case of couldn't in this scenario. It's more likely to be a case of wouldn't.
Yeah, fucking heal, bro.
Would they? On one hand, this theory fits into the established timeline rather neatly and would provide a clear incentive for his removal, and the doc subscribe.
Are they saying that they wanted to remove him to save money so that they could have other people? I guess. I just feel like that's theories. I feel like the misinformation theory is the most fucking, like, obvious to me, at least. That makes the most sense to me.
Reaction and lawsuit. However, there are also uncertainties. With the litigation considered, was it really that profitable a move for Twitch? Would it really have been so troublesome to see out a contract and retain a high-profile figure who drew viewers? And why wouldn't they let him back on the platform despite offering a payout? Surely there had to be a greater motive than breaking an undesirable contract with a creator whose longevity has outlasted many of his contemporaries. Well, let's entertain those now. As we know, Twitch was having a bit of an image crisis around this time, particularly with how they were presented in the media and how some of their industry executives have been caught behaving. I think the phrase toxic masculinity might come to the lips of someone analyzing the culture that had prevailed for a long time. Dr. Disrespect had not been at the center of the public conscience regarding this controversy, and maybe he had no reason to be. But in many ways, his behavior did offend the sensibilities of some around him. Twitch clearly wanted to pride themselves on being a safer space for creators and to distance themselves from the traditional image of the toxic gamer. We had this discussion earlier with Ninja, who left the platform and subsequently criticized its toxicity. Like himself, a lot of people who may have been associated with that image had distanced themselves since, and even come to attack it. With large streamers like Ninja becoming available again from Mixer's demise, was this the perfect time for Twitch to revamp their own reputation?
Talking a lot. His chubby cheeks, 13-year-old bratty attitude because his parents never disciplined him type of mind frame. It's chatting it up in the chat. I'd like to see, where's your top 10? You haven't even gotten a victory. Ugly kid, let's go through your little specs here. Outdated, everything about your life is outdated. No one's following your channel. It's horrible. Your graphics, terrible. Jacob, your name, you misspelled your own name. You can't even spell your own name. Get out of my face.
Are they asking him to do this? What's the context of this? Kind of shitty, but if they're asking him to do it,
Dr. Disrespect was, in many senses, a trash-talking villainous character who was all kitted out to ruin some kid's day, and that was part of his appeal. But as we know, it made him a very contentious character point, who probably made his fair share of enemies. It's very possible that Twitch had some reservations regarding his behavior, and even if he wasn't directly breaching the guidelines, there was something immutable about his brand that conflicted with the sort of platform that Twitch was aspiring to be, and the people they were hoping to attract. All it took was a couple of those enemies to have the right opportunity to pounce and make a case for his removal from the platform. Not for any specific reason, but because he represented a bygone era for them, a generation of gamers that didn't create a welcoming environment for those that Twitch wanted to appeal to. The only reason he had been kept on was because Mix and other platforms had been placing pressure on Twitch to retain him as a draw for viewing numbers. But once that pressure was gone, they could finally take action in shaping the market the way they wanted to, and Dr. Disrespect was that vision's sacrificial lamb. Is there anything to support this theory? Well, it would certainly explain why Twitch were highly vague in their explanation and why Dr. Disrespect believed in his case enough to initiate a lawsuit against the platform. It would provide an underlying motive for the streaming platform's decision, one that could to them have a long-term benefit, while fitting in with the broadly held idea that the doctor in the house hadn't committed any major malfeasances or serious breaches of a contract. It would explain why Twitch didn't want him back on the platform in spite of offering a settlement that he felt was acceptable, implying that they perhaps had a bit of doubt in the reasoning behind their case. It would also clarify why they really couldn't confront him about it or ask him to tune it down, because it would be fundamentally opposed to who he is as a persona. Still, that's a lot for Twitch to gamble on without any actual incident to instigate a measure with a creator who was signed for a long-term multi-million-dollar deal. Would it really be worth it? Although Dr. Disrespect was certainly a more controversial large creator than most, his behavior still didn't really approach the boundary of exceptional. And in a time where all eyes were basically on anyone else but him, it would be a peculiar moment to begin working on your image by banning someone who was seemingly unrelated to the present controversies. With that said, there was always the possibility that Twitch banned Dr. Disrespect to distract from the controversies they were dealing with. But once again, surely there would be a
real conspiracy-esque. I mean, if anything, if the eyes weren't really on him at the time, then if anything, maybe that would have been the perfect time to ban him, I guess, if they didn't think he was too, I don't know, stop it. But maybe they're like, oh, maybe he'll become controversial, or we know he's controversial. All it'll take is one issue, so we'll ban him before. Are you fucking kidding me with this fucking junker wheel, dude? Okay.
Less costly way to deflect attention than banning one of your most popular creators. I think the main problem with this theory is that it's one that is built around what we don't know rather than what we do know. And although it could fit nicely in with some of the black boxes of information, it can never really be the only option, particularly when those black boxes are so broad that they yield multiple different theories. What could be more substantial than this?
I can confirm with my sources it is a permanent ban, and I can confirm that it is not DMCA. But I do not have any information on what it is.
I mean, if they ban him for DMCA, that'd be crazy, since the people were literally watching like fucking Top Chef. Like, that was the craziest fucking meta in the world. You know what I mean? Oh, you ain't gonna fuck with me, brothers. You guys are all dead. Walk up, walk up, walk up, walk up. Come on, walk up, pussy.
Other than, it's pretty serious.
Well, I suppose there is one more theory, which is the elephant in the room. And that is that obviously Dr. Disrespect was
You know what the elephant in the room is? That my two fucking healers are ahead of me. They're ahead of me. Back up and fucking heal, dude. I mean, Jesus Christ. You know, you don't have to, just because they're pushing the point doesn't mean you have to sit on it. You can let them pull up a little bit, get a better footing. You don't have to be, you know, you don't have to stop them at all fucking costs. You guys know positioning? Have you ever fucking learned how to play video games before? God fucking damn it, dude.
Something so serious that Twitch could no longer ignore it and had to take action against it, or else they could have faced serious repercussions themselves. Do we know what Dr. Disrespect would have done? No. And honestly, when it comes to more serious matters, I feel uneasy even speculating. But we know that some who claim to know thought it was too serious to even mention, so there must have been some possible legal implications. What does this story say then? Well, Twitch uncovered something or informed of something. They couldn't take it public because of those exact reasons themselves, and they didn't want to put themselves in the firing line or jeopardize a possible investigation. However, with the knowledge they had, they needed to take action so that person wasn't present on their platform. Assumedly, in their mind, this person posed a present threat to other users on the platform. Maybe the medium he was operating over was through these networks, and Twitch believed it to be their duty to cut those networks off. Additionally, with the recent criticism that they've been receiving of an action where severe misconduct was present, it would have reflected very poorly on them if information was released that showed they were aware of the wrongdoings taking place and had subsequently done nothing. I'll add that this doesn't mean Dr. Disrespect has done anything criminal. Maybe he was back behind the wall of whatever he'd been accused of. But given the external pressure and tense environment, Twitch felt compelled to act. As reluctant as they were to ban one of their largest, most recognizable names, maybe the risk of doing nothing was just too great for them to roll the dice with. There was really no other option for them. What can be said in this story's favor? Well, I suppose the first thing to note was obviously the claim that some names in the industry corroborated this theory and made public statements that seemed to imply that something serious had occurred. It provides a rationale behind Twitch's behavior and both parties' reluctance to speak about the actual reason as whether true or false could affect either credibility or culpability. It would explain some of the brand reactions if they'd been informed of the reason for his ban, and would explain why he has struggled to obtain contracts for any other large platform as far as we know. That sort of information may be considered privileged, and it may explain why we don't know. But surely if this was the case, we would have heard something, or at least we should have heard something. Twitch didn't just unpartner Dr. Disrespect, they deplatformed him. A few days before Dr. Disrespect launched on YouTube, Slash reported that although YouTube would not stop the doc from streaming on his platform, they wouldn't be signing any deals with him, as if that was some sort of point against him.
I have seen no evidence. I have investigated fully. There's a possibility of him going to another platform. Okay, YouTube is out. that they have not been in any discussions with Dr. Disrespect.
I was about to flame the fuck out of my whole team right there, and then somehow we won. So I'm not going to flame my team. You know, that's how you're supposed to do it. But still, fuck my team.
Started 11 years ago here on YouTube.
Let's see how I did, guys.
And boy,
sorry, I know this isn't relevant to the video. Let's see. I'm bronze 4-2, bronze 3, dude. Are you kidding me? That's it. Fucking Jesus Christ. I feel like I should have got a bigger promotion than that, dude. This is actually fucking pissing me off. And no, I'm not having fun playing this game. Okay? My fucking win percentage on Torbjorn, 62%. It was 57 last time I ranked out. How the fuck does it go up 5% and I'm still one league higher? I don't even understand this game anymore.
Boy, oh boy, does it feel good to be back.
The dude has still done well for himself in spite of YouTube's occasionally subpar streaming system. He has a fully monetized channel with 4 million subscribers. Some would look at this and conclude that what he did couldn't have been that heinous because he still had the opportunity to succeed elsewhere in the industry. Many would also note that Disrespect took Twitch to court over this. And although criminals have certainly made bolder moves, for someone whose public reputation is so integral to his work, it would be surprising for him to put that at stake on a court case, which could have exposed him when he could have just as easily moved on. It seems this theory of serious malfeasance seemed the most plausible at first, but as time passed, it began to appear a little doubtful, though it's fair to say not impossible. However, not impossible isn't really the level of certainty we want to operate on. But I ask you now, do we have any other option?
Okay.
As I said earlier, the truth may be completely unrelated to all of the theories we've discussed today. There are many variables in a case like this that it's too hard to account for every single one. But judging previous cases, general human behavior, and the nature of many of these large corporations, these hypotheses seem to be the most popular. Each one has their individual merit and logic behind it. Yet there's a negative relationship within each of the theories. That being, the theories that give more reason behind Twitch's behavior give less reason behind Dr. Disrespect's behavior. The alternative streaming platform theory is probably the most believable in regards to how Twitch would act, but it seems really out of character for Dr. Disrespect to do anything like that. Although we do have clear evidence of Dr. Disrespect leaning into conspiracy theories, there's no real evidence of Twitch ever taking action against it in the past, and no reason to not just approach him and tell him to cut it out. Over time, I think many have tended towards those theories.
Well, you know, listen, again, from a business perspective, approaching a conspiracy theorist and saying, stop talking about conspiracy theory if that is the reason, and I don't know if it is. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised because, again, well, the what was going on back then. But going up to a conspiracy theory and be like, hey, you have to stop. Like, they're, I understand. No, that's just going to make them feel empowered by their shit. You know what I mean? That's going to make them feel like they're correct. Oh, that was nasty, boy. That was nasty. Okay, let's play this.
That are more sympathetic to the doc, not just because of the actual evolving facts surrounding the case, but because they want to believe that the guy genuinely didn't do anything wrong. They saw someone who had been singled out by a platform for a reason that they never explained and suffered consequences for being himself.
Since the Purple Snake scummy
Purple Snake
ban, we've taken a hit on so many different things behind the scenes, champs.
And it's understandable, to be honest, because one of the more thought-provoking questions, I'd say, is who or how Twitch actually helped by doing this. Obviously, on the surface, Twitch didn't really help themselves. They lost a creator who brought in revenue and viewers and was subjected to a lawsuit. Certainly didn't help Dr. Disrespect, who felt so aggrieved he initiated the lawsuit in the first place. And although it did lead to some hijinks, I don't really think fans found the drama particularly gratifying.
Bro, you fucking
if Twitch's aim was to protect any particular party, they haven't really done much either. Sure, they've covered their own asses, but the dude just went to another platform and still possesses enough power to hold tournaments and attend events, even if the opportunities aren't quite as vast. If it ever
these
did
not
come out that
headshots?
Dr. Disrespect had been behaving, dare I say it, less than respectfully, would Twitch be completely in the clear for how they handled it? I have a hunch they wouldn't be. Early on, there were some viewers who believed that this was all a large ruse for a new era of Dr. Disrespect. I don't think many people are of that school of thought anymore, but sometimes it just seems like the only remotely plausible explanation because it's just so hard to make sense of it otherwise. It's hard to find an explanation that rationalizes the behavior of everyone involved. I often find myself returning to the question of Twitch's image, as that's the only real motive that I can find. By running such a secretive and often partisan system, Twitch set no real standard of conduct. The only thing that often seemed consistent was the fact that larger creators did receive better treatment than small creators. But the disappearance of Dr. Disrespect seemed to spit in the face of that belief, leading many to conclude that it must have been truly exceptional behavior. But maybe Twitch saw an opportunity in image revamp, under pressure from a variety of media sources who all seem to have the same grievance with him. This was their statement to say that they weren't complete pushovers, but would it have really worked? Well, I don't think so. Twitch still finds itself in and out of the spotlight for the decisions they take. They're still accused of employing double standards for their preferred creators, and it's hard to make the case that the atmosphere on the platform has changed since the doc's departure. It's really hard to say if the doc was an influence on that in the first place.
I mean, again, it's possible. We just lost the entire fucking point because these stupid fucking tanks think that they can overextend the second that we get a decent lead. Oh, we got a little bit of a lead. What if I ran into the fucking enemy like I'm a fucking invincible, and then everybody else has got to follow him in because, you know, it's your fucking tank, dude. Anyway, it's possible that it had to do with like an imagery issue. It just seems like a random weird one to like double down on. I'm gonna fucking die now. I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. I'm just fucking tilted out of my fucking marbles right now.
Or if he was just running his own show. Twitch is so large at this point that the creator leaving doesn't seem to exert great cultural influence. Sure, he's popular, well-known, influential, and he still is. But he's never been a singular spokesperson for the gaming community. Dr. Disrespect's popularity was just a reflection of gaming culture, rather than being some industry-wide puppeteer. And there have been many more serious examples of toxic behavior on the platform in the last couple years. Not to mention Dr. Disrespect's own more serious antics that were often given the soft touch by the Twitch moderation team.
These dum-dums at Twitch are approving other... They are approving wannabe Dr... Anyways, just wanted to let you guys know.
No, I thought it was Villa.
I tried.
Some could say his expulsion was in a way designed to prevent the accusations of double standards when they took more serious action against toxicity, but it's not like those accusations ever seemed to concern them in the past. The truth is, Twitch really haven't done that much. They've rewritten their terms and conditions a few times, tried to stay on the pulse with popular opinion and what social media is saying, but that's not new. All of these platforms are works in progress that adapt themselves to the zeitgeist. Twitch didn't seem to undergo any radical reforms as a consequence of them banning Dr. Disrespect, and you'd think if they saw creators with his attitude as that much of a threat, then they would have. As a large corporate conglomerate with business interests at heart, people struggle to rationalize Twitch's behavior, which is why many end up siding with Dr. Disrespect. But how are we even to know that this was a corporate decision?
My experience is that the trust and safety division of Twitch makes decisions independent of any other department in Twitch, including partnerships. So they don't even make decisions based off of what account managers or people that are actually running the partners even think. They're making their own complete different decisions, and they're empowered to do so. Trust and Safety has the sole and exclusive ability to ban people on Twitch, and they have no other oversight in that matter except their own people. The people that are making decisions on bans exclusively for enforcement are Trust and Safety. Trust and Safety is an entirely anonymous, so you will not find a single person that works there, even if you look anywhere. An entirely anonymous division of Twitch that decides that has sole power over deciding on bans.
There's been some discourse about how Twitch handle their bans, and I think one thing to note is that it's often a very select few who actually hand down and enforce.
Can we just look at the other healer here? Fucking 1500 healing. Why do you exist? Look at this. Look at this fucking Chad. Absolute fucking Chad. Papa Gut here. Getting fucking spicy ass kills. I'm gonna go in and save this guy. I mean, Jesus Christ, though, dude. Why play the game if you're gonna have fucking 1800 healing, bro? Get the fuck away from... I'm gonna shit in my fucking ass, dude.
Those bans, and it's an extremely secretive process. Who is to stop it from getting personal? We know Dr. Disrespect is a little more than just a character. He could have easily pissed someone powerful at Twitch off, with them coming to the conclusion that they just didn't want him around. Maybe he didn't do anything criminal. Maybe he didn't even breach the guidelines that time. He just did or said something behind the scenes that made an individual.
Maybe he was this healer in the game, and they decided maybe the person who banned him was, maybe he was like a fucking Twitch mod, and maybe they were playing a game of Overwatch 2, and maybe they're fucking the enemy your allied healer is pulling a 30 your fucking healing, while you're fucking sitting here trying to get fucking you're trying to win. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe he got banned for sucking at the fucking game, dude. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe he just sucks. It's at Anna, and he should switch right fucking now. Something easier. Like a brick wall or a log. What are you doing, dude? Oh my god, what am I fucking doing trying to help this guy? Oh my god, I shouldn't have helped this dude. Jesus Christ.
A personal matter overlapped into business. If it was a private matter, then who knows where or when
fucking classic idiot move from me. Let me go try to help people. Let me go fucking try to help people. That guy overextended, and then I fucking decided to try to help him, and I get punished for it. I just wiped the whole fucking team. I just wiped the whole fucking team trying to save one stupid asshole. God damn it, dude. God fucking damn it. Fuck me in my ass. Holy moly, garbanzo beans, dude. I'm shitting and farting right now. Don't even... Oh, you son of a bitch. Okay.
Or anything that could be revealed that may bring certain figures into disrepute. We often see Twitch as an entity, and the decisions they make as collective. But the truth is, a company is still made up of a lot of people with their own motivations.
What a difficult champion to play.
Taken without personal bias, and even if there were some forms of corporate justification, it's completely valid to suggest that this was instigated on a personal whim, even if it wasn't presented as such. This just extends the realm of possible theories to nearly intangible levels, and leaves us right back where we started. May believe the best in Dr. Disrespect because they see Dr. Disrespect as the human he is. And although Twitch really didn't do the best to differentiate themselves from robots with their public statements, they're still a company full of humans too. They're just people whose decisions may only ever be known to themselves, providing us very little evidence to work with. And when looking for explanations, we latch on to what we have. But as said, maybe the key here is what we haven't. And perhaps there's not much we can do about that. Many internet dwellers have this inherent desire to find out the truth of a situation. And in a way, it's understandable. When we have the truth, we can make a more balanced judgment. However, with 99% of disputes, we have to accept that we will never have the full picture to judgment without any reservation at all. With that said, with this case, we have a lot less than that. And it makes it...
I thought my ult would go through walls, bro. I thought my ult goes through walls. I shot my ult through a wall, and it fucking disappeared. I wasted my fucking ultimate. Dude. Oh, my fucking titties.
even harder for anyone to arbitrate with clarity. Nonetheless, people still like to have strong opinions, and in the time following his ban and looking at the record of Twitch and the doc respectively, people decided that whatever the truth, that Dr. Disrespect had probably been done dirty and deserved better from a platform he had enthusiastically hosted his content on and supported behind the scenes for years. This is a guy who was involved from the Justin.tv years, much longer than most of Twitch's biggest names right now.
People have got to understand. You got to attack, attack, attack.
True.
Get him mistaken.
Now, we must accept that there are circumstances where loyalty would not be enough to exonerate one's actions, but since we have no idea what these actions are and only rumors to base our suspicions off, it's fair that many erred on Dr. Disrespect's side. I think people looked at the rumors of the more serious acts that were alleged to have occurred and thought, if nobody's willing to put it out there, then they can't be that confident in it. There are of course other reasons why something may not be public, and no stranger to this, a lot of companies were much more anxious about the fact that nothing had been said. They likely believed that reputational damage could be inflicted if they partnered with a person who was soon revealed to be acting outside the realm of acceptability. For a while, not even Dr. Disrespect appeared to know what happened. I'm sure he was probably more well-informed than anyone else, but it's not like he could publicly theorize either.
Well, I mean, like, this whole argument that, like, if he was innocent, this is what it sounds like, if he was innocent, then he would, he'd come forward and admit it. That's a silly argument to make, because, like, the business world is much more complicated than that. Okay.
That would make him liable if he...
Listen, don't tell me I'm throwing. Here's the reality. My mistakes are fucking inconsequential compared to the mistakes of these fucking idiots, okay? The only thing is that I want to win, so I have to try to do something that can potentially carry us. Look at the fucking healing! This is my healer! It's 3,700 healing, I got 7,500 fucking healing! I got as much damage as him. Alright? I'm this guy times fucking 2, dude. This is crazy. Alright? It's fucking nuts.
Believed he had grounds to take legal action, so he wasn't going to say anything, and when he did, it was non-committal or dismissive of certain theories, such as the one that revolved around the final stream. Eventually, legal action was initiated, and we thought that once resolved, the one factor that may have been causing the secrecy would be relieved, and we'd finally find out the truth, especially if the doc secured his return to Twitch. However, it seemed as part of that settlement, neither party was going to be discussing the matter any further, both releasing highly impersonal statements that could barely be distinguished between each other. Even the agreement itself was hard to read into, as it's difficult to say how much money was offered and how that reflected in the strength of the case against Twitch. All we know is that the doc was confident enough to file a lawsuit against the company, but also happy enough to settle. There are a lot of ways to interpret that which depend on details that we don't know.
Listen, I just point out the obvious. Plus, you know, once I got banned from the Purple Snakes platform, they like secretly shadow banned and stopped talking to us and all that stuff. And to me, like, I took it personal. Like, what
is this tank doing?
Commercials, we did lots of deals, and to exclude.
Bro, what are you, a fucking idiot?
Like, trust me, there's, you know, design half the maps for Advanced Warfare. Like, we've done a lot with the franchise, right?
Oh
and
my
for them to turn
fucking
a
god,
cold shoulder
dude.
like that. Trust me, I took it personal.
It's clear that the consequences of the Twitch ban are still in place, and Dr. Disrespect even vents his frustration from time to time on the matter. Recently, he hosted a Zero Build tournament on Fortnite, with some popular Twitch streamers also competing. Boom TV, the host of the event, released a statement to competitors explaining that it was prohibited for them to knowingly feature the suspended gentleman in question, and providing suggestions and alternatives to avoid experiencing any negative repercussions for interacting with him. Hard to say if Doc saw the funny side of this, though he did manage a little Twitter chuckle.
We understand that there may be instances where suspended users may appear on your stream due to circumstances beyond your control, such as through third-party gaming tournaments, but we expect that you make a good faith effort to remove them from your broadcast, mute them, or otherwise limit their interactions with your stream.
Damn.
Who knows whether the truth will ever come out? Maybe at some point in the future someone will decide they have very little to lose by speaking openly about it, but for the moment it remains a mystery. I'm sure some will wonder why, if the facts were...
Well, I think the biggest issue is that there seems to be a lot more animosity when it comes to Dr. Disrespect's ban than, like, anything else. Well, this guy's gonna die. Well, you know what? That's your fucking problem, idiot. Come over here. Oh, I'm gonna fucking come. I'm fucking chilled up, dude. Come on, dude.
Dr. Disrespect's favor as much as they were, he wouldn't just speak up, regardless of the consequences. Surely it's better to illustrate how ludicrous Twitch were in banning him, right? Well, I think the greatest concern for a creator and businessman like Dr. Disrespect would be to have his career defined by the ban. And in a way, it was a challenge to avoid it. It was such a seismic shift in the community that very few could miss it. There's little doubt that the uncertainty has prolonged people's discourse surrounding it, making us wonder if it had been over sooner if the doc had just spilled the beans and allowed people to make their own judgment. However, there's no guarantee that any explanation would provide a closure, and if it was contentious enough, could have very easily instigated more conflict if someone wanted to dispute it. In this case, it may very well be that the less anyone said, the better. The financial setback of being banned from Twitch is great, but the setback of having your career overshadowed by...
True, although I wonder, I guess so I was gonna say, like, for me, like, I've made more money, well, not like more money on from the streaming perspective as I build my secondary channel, than I was like on Twitch. But then again, it's a lot of these aspects aren't just okay. A lot of this doesn't seem to just be money from Twitch, but like money from the ability to work with other brands as well. So yeah, that makes sense to me. All right, let's get a point, dude.
A conflict, whether you're in the right or not, is so much greater. If the guy had lost everything already, then maybe he would have been a bit more tenacious in court. But he still had a channel, a fan base, a company, partnerships, and a variety of other outlets that were worth no less of his time.
Yeah, but I think at the end of the day, it's one of those things where it's more about, like, for a lot of people, and this is especially for men, is like you get to a point where you're just working for accomplishments and not even for money anymore. And he was generating accomplishments. He was making money, but he was also generating accomplishments. He was generating networking. He was rising up from like a famous perspective. And he feels like it was curtailed by Twitch's actions, and it was, regardless of whether they were justifiable or not. It still was definitely curtailed by it. And I think that's more than anything else. To say that, like, yeah, but he still makes a lot of money. Absolutely. You're 100% right. But when you're in that, like, it's more of an ego thing at that point. When you're at that, like, ego spot, it's very difficult to just be like, whatever. Like, and plus, like, you know, as a person, you really can't just allow yourself to get fucking wronged and then go, no big deal. You know, you have to stand up for yourself. You need to advocate for yourself. So I can understand his frustration. I understand that he makes a lot of money. But like to be like, but you know, you should kind of deal with it. I think it's a little bit. It just doesn't play to the human condition.
It's understandable that some people to this day still want to know what exactly happened. But the truth is, we're just not entitled to it, and there's no guarantee that knowing would enhance our lives or our judgment in any way at all. There's nothing wrong with
good thing you overextended, idiot.
We just have to settle with theories, decide who we want to support in a situation. I think that's what Dr. Disrespect would prefer at least. He knew he had to address it, but his tone in the interviews always showed a bit of disdain for the theories that people were advocating and even hinting at. The general impression I receive from him is that he's the sort of guy who believes that he will rebuild everything if he has to, with or without Twitch, but he'd much rather talk about that. He spent long enough in the industry to know how to survive. Whether he'll truly ever have the last laugh is something that's yet to be revealed, but for now it seems that everyone got what they wanted. As a company, Twitch has continued to dominate in their domain. YouTube and Facebook Gaming have both retained their...
Would we say that they're dominating in their domain? I feel like that's an inaccurate point to make. They're not really dominating in anything, are they? They're kind of getting their... I feel like they're getting their shit pushed a little bit. Dude, holy fucking idiot. Where the fuck is the tank? Dude, where's the headshot, dude? Oh my god. There we go. Nice ult. What a weird fucking ult to use. This guy's tilted as fuck too. He just literally ulted in that. That was the weirdest fucking ult I've ever seen in my life.
Presence, but they can't come close to the control that Twitch exerts on the market. Don't get me wrong, they're still on their bullshit, but creators are still going to stream and viewers are still going to tune in because there's no platform that can provide you with the streaming dream like Twitch does. You can't blame people for wanting to take advantage of that, but as Dr. Disrespect found out, sometimes you have to modify your dreams a little.
Millions of minutes watched is the #1 metric. And it's right here on Twitch.
It's a shame that the Dr. Disrespect Twitch era ever had to come to an end, but whether there was a good reason or not, there's always an opportunity for a new era to begin.
Help me! Oh, mommy! 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 What a bad player I am.
I'm excited, extremely excited that a team at Midnight Society absolutely busted their asses off. And we're here to change the game.
Yo, fucking get this kid behind, dude!
A very prosperous business relationship. In many ways, it was one that seemed mutually beneficial and deeply rooted for the large proportion of its existence. Twitch as a platform trying to cement its status in the gaming scene, and the Doc as an ambitious and outspoken persona.
I gotta say, I will say this. Bro, stop fucking overextending. This healer did just save my life. He did just save my life. Can you, dude? What goes through your fucking brain as a tank? Oh, let me go into a side room. Let me try to flank them. Sit in the front and just take fucking bullets, bro. What are you doing? What was in the room? You gotta take a shit? What is that, the bathroom? I don't understand the mentality from these fucking tanks. I don't get it. Hey, let me go wander into a side fucking room. What's in there? What are you doing? Is this a consulting office? What did you need to do in there? That was so fucking important. You stupid ass. The fucking Jesus Christ. Stand still, take damage, fucking tank. That's all you have to do, bro. I'm gonna shit my pants. Kill this fucking fat pig. Kill people. Fucking Jesus tits. Okay, let me play this fucking video.
Looking for a medium that supported his antics. Over the years, Dr. Disrespect grew his channel, but also his brand, becoming an identifiable figure for those inside and outside the community, garnering a media presence like few other creators. Twitch obviously provided a platform, but Dr. Disrespect did provide a standout persona in a sea of creators whose appeal was often based on other aspects of their content. That's not a discredit to them, but it's definitely a credit to the Doc, whose longevity on an ever-evolving platform seemed nearly guaranteed. When the competition picked up and certain creators migrated to other platforms, our titular character only strengthened his relationship with the website that had fostered his growth over the years, pledging his allegiance in the most binding way possible with a life-changing contract that likely produced eye-watering sums of money. In spite of his illustrious career up to this point, this was still a significant step forward. Everything seemed to be going right, which was the perfect time for something to go wrong. As we've seen, there are a plethora of theories for what exactly happened, but the underlying theme of it was that Twitch likely made the judgment that mutual benefit of their relationship had run its course, and the Doc had become a liability. Whether that was due to divergence in common goals or a specific incident that left Twitch feeling like they had to take action is hard to entirely know, but the impact was long felt.
Like, how can you be done on just Twitch. That's the part that like that goes deep. If it's every platform that you're done,
it's terrifying to see right now. I mean, this is just nuts. If this is true, this is the biggest creator out there to this extent.
That was the thing. Regardless of who you sided with or your own personal suspicions, there was always cause for concern. Whether you felt that it was a stark reminder that Twitch could take a person's platform away without even blinking twice, or whether you felt it represented concern for how a creator may have behaved, not being shielded from people who may be affected by their behavior. This had a ripple effect on...
You know what's interesting, though, is that... because a lot of people are always claiming that Twitch partners and whatnot, they get special treatment, blah, 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 blah. And people think that that's a bad thing. But, you know, realistically, not even just that they make us money, so we should give them more leniency. But, like, right there, we were whatever that other guy was that was, like, using, like, gambling, and they were, inaccurately representing their gambling shit. That person had a contract, though, that had, like, extra stipulations when it comes to them getting banned, so that, like, they had to have, like, a little bit more, they had to be a little more transparent about it. And realistically speaking, like, that's probably... it's definitely a factor as to why some of these Twitch streamers get like these courtesies that they do, because our tank overextends inside of them for some reason. 5v fucking 1, like an absolute Chad. Like, it makes the most. Let's make sure we sandwich ourselves between both halves of their team. Like, that was a solid idea, Reinhardt. You stupid fuck. Anyway, they have to be a little more careful.
Audiences, platforms, and even other businesses who were previously affiliated with the doc, collaterally influencing not only his direct income in the moment, but also his mobility in the community and all the perks that he'd previously derived from being a streamer. It put Dr. Disrespect in a position where he could suck it up and move on, or try to fight for his place once more.
What are you doing?
And I have to be intelligent about all this.
Bro, where are you going?
You're talking about a heavy contract.
We're down somebody.
Lots of money.
Chill.
There's big money involved. So let the legal professionals do what they need to do.
In a way, he seemed to try and exploit both options, spending the first year or so rebuilding his online presence on a new platform, expanding his business avenues, and even establishing his own company. In that time, he was often quite cryptic, not really giving much during interviews. When the time was right, he launched his lawsuit, likely playing to the visible financial damage that could be observed in the year following his banishment. We theorize on what the terms of the lawsuit could have been, but we know it probably emphasized what he had lost. Ultimately, in Dr. Disrespect's ideal world, he would have made his triumphant return to Twitch, with them admitting they had made a dire mistake. However, although it was clear that the streaming platform was prepared to offer a compromise, it was not one that necessarily included his Twitch channel. Advised by legal experts with probably more experience than you and I, he took that compromise, which also entailed saying as little as possible about it. And though sometimes it feels like the doc wants to say more than he should, he's professional enough to hold his tongue and continue on the trajectory he's set for himself. It's not easy to lose something that you spent years building, and to feel like you're going back to the start in a way is probably one of the most demoralizing things that can happen. To a platform, what is just another channel is a person's lifetime work all in one space. It's hard not to be bitter about that. And honestly, I don't think anyone would have blamed him for throwing in the towel. But Dr. Disrespect is no quitter, and in many ways he turned a negative into something positive.
We're going to make a game with our pros, and we're going to make a game with you, our community. And we think that's a different way of making a video game than anyone's ever made one before. And even though making games is really, really hard and really, really challenging, we think by doing it this way, we have a really good chance of succeeding.
In the past few months, there has definitely been an interest towards creator-run gaming studios. 100 Thieves, OTK, and of course Midnight Society, headed by Dr. Disrespect himself and using his namesake as a significant selling point. The pivot towards creator-controlled games could really influence how the industry operates. The doc is at the forefront of that, and although there has been the occasional criticism for how the studio has been operated, there's still a lot of hope and anticipation for the output of more consumer-oriented games. However, the gaming studio does represent more than that, because it amplifies the doc's reach and gives him more of a standing in a community that he had struggled in due to his lost connections with Twitch.
Doc, when can we expect a game from Midnight Society? Says Danger Levi with a $9.99. Probably like 40 years. And I'm going to push it back another 20 years every time I get asked.
In a way, the more conspiratorial side of me sees these enterprises as Dr. Disrespect's attempt to be so omnipresent that Twitch will eventually have no other option but to acknowledge him. All these people on their platform playing a game by a person they banned, attending his tournaments. He can't be shunned from the industry when he is the industry. Wouldn't that be the sweetest revenge? I don't know, and I don't know if Twitch cares about it that much, but going forward, one can't help but wonder if their paths will cross once more, and how exactly it will be navigated. All I can say is both Twitch and Dr. Disrespect seem determined to get their share. How successful they are is a story only time will tell.
True.
It's fair to say that the mystery of Dr. Disrespect's disappearance from Twitch may never be solved. A man at the peak of his popularity, having the rug pulled from under him so unexpectedly. An abundance of theories that never quite unscrambled the enigma, and a court case that only mystified the facts. But within that mystery, there was a nugget of truth. That whatever the setback, even one where you lose your whole damn channel, it's never completely over. And for many, Dr. Disrespect is still just getting started.
Let's climb the mountain. Let's dominate. Violence, speed, and momentum, and guess what? We're at the top of the mountain. But we're really only halfway up.
Let's do it, baby.
All right.
Okay, so that was the video. I hope you all enjoyed.
All right. Listen, I'm getting fucking tilted right now. Okay?
I want Papa Gut to pee on my face, but just as a friend. There's nothing weird about that. I want him to pee on my face.